Good morning, 7 o'clock. Partly to mostly sunny. It's going to be partly to mostly sunny with an isolated PM thunderstorm, possible high about 90, they're talking. So obviously it's going to be a little muggy too. Tonight, an early isolated thunderstorm possible, otherwise warm and muggy, a low of 70. On Thursday, hot and humid, mostly sunny with a high of 92. On Friday, partial sunshine, not as humid and a bit cooler, 85. Yes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday look really pretty nice, actually. Maybe a few showers passing through, a thunderstorm possible, but better temperatures. Although I don't mind 90 and 92. That doesn't bother me.
I know. I hate to say it because I know a lot of people hate it. I don't mind it.
You like it better than 30 below?
I'll take it.
Well, that's exactly it right there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in it every day. Like, I wouldn't move to the desert.
Yeah. I definitely shifted a little bit with the kiddo because it feels like you can't be outside that much. But personally, I enjoy the heat.
That makes sense. So again, today, partly to mostly sunny with an isolated PM thunderstorm possible, high on 90. Right now, it's sunny and 69. It's very, very nice. It's actually warm out. 69, I know, doesn't sound that warm, but it actually is a little warm.
Yeah, it doesn't feel cold at all.
Nope, not at all. Interesting story popped up today on the Complete Sheet. Can people just not take a joke anymore? A new poll looked into it. I would say, no, they cannot. What do you guys think? People taking a joke.
I think it's funny because it's like I've been thinking about live comedy a lot and what that means to be in those rooms and how different that is when we record something and it's to the masses and you can't feel, the room out and what a huge difference that makes. But I think people can take jokes. I think we have to pivot, and I think we've always had to pivot with what is looked at as funny.
We do? Where are we going to pivot to? Where it's not funny?
Oh my God, I don't know. Oh my God, I'm terrified to answer that.
That amazes me, though, that people can't take a joke anymore. I mean, it really does. It just used to be it used to be a sign that someone liked you, that they would do that. They would only do it if they liked you.
Yeah.
So did that change? All the pricks started doing it?
Let's see. Our stand-up comedian, Rudy, can people take a joke?
Yeah, I think people can. I think we've gotten to a point now, especially in the last 6 months, where people just go, oh, Christ, we're so tired of all your bullshit, all the stuff about the whole woke, all this and that. I can't say this. I just piss off. I'm tired of all of it. So, yeah. So I know I can take a joke. I don't give a crap about anybody else.
Well, there's a great human story. I don't give a rat's ass about it. No, I understand what you're saying.
You have to not.
If you can't take a joke, that's not my problem. I have to deal with me and nobody else.
But I think mostly what they're talking about here is person to person, not on the stage or on the air.
Okay.
I think you're talking about, can you take a joke? And I'm sure it covers the entire thing, but the focus is probably face to. Man, if you couldn't take a joke when I was a kid, you may as well just stay home.
Yeah.
Because it's just how it was. The great thing about that is, growing up, you guys ever heard of the Dozens?
Yeah. Playing the Dozens.
Playing the Dozens, yeah. I mean, that all started. It wasn't friendly and it wasn't nice at all.
Yeah.
But it was funny. Well, except for the one about your mother. Those ones were not.
Well, even that, it was funny.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know what? It's not even like I ever think of my mom when someone says,
yeah,
your mom. Yeah. I don't think of Beverly Stoffels at home. I think of just a generic, okay. I guess, and we all have such unique perspectives. I was in the military and it was constantly.
Oh, I bet.
Constantly ribbing. And then here in radio, people make fun of each other all the time. So in my world, yeah, but time and place. There's a time and place. It's absolutely. But I do think people can take jokes. I just think you kind of got to pivot with personalities. Because, that's a coping mechanism that we use to deal with everything.
Yeah, a lot of stress.
Yeah.
No question. Well, like when I was a kid playing a little pickup baseball or softball or whatever, football at Cleveland Park or North Commons earlier on than that, there was always one guy that said, no mothers. He would say that before every game, that you can say whatever you want about me or anybody else, but don't talk about my mother.
But don't you think he's just setting himself up?
Well, yes.
Because when you get really mad, you know what's going to anger him. It's like me being like, you guys, don't call me a bitch. If you call me a bitch, I'll be so angry. And then that moment, you can call me it. There's your little button you can push.
Yeah, and why are you so special that we don't get to talk about your mom?
Right?
I hate those people.
See? Because of you, by the way, last week, I've known this my whole life, and I finally focused on it and figured out where Black Marilyn Farmer came from. I never even paid attention to that.
So funny.
Black mother effer is
Yeah.
what that replaces. And I never even thought of it that way before.
That guy was like the original frickin', you mother freaker.
Mother freaker. Yeah, there you go. But Maryland farmer. Oh, you can do that. You go walk in the store. Yeah, what do you think of that? Yeah, I don't like you. Yeah? Okay, you Maryland farmer.
Get away from me, you Maryland farmer.
See, that's good. We could use that.
For some reason, it sounds worse than like
In ways.
mofo. Like it just
Yeah.
sounds weirdly
ways.
like East
No, I
Coast.
understand. I do understand. Do you think people just can't take a joke anymore? Or are we constantly offended now because more people joke about stuff that should be off limits? I don't think they do. Do you think it's more off limits now than it used to be?
Like what? What would be off limits?
Well, it should be. Did they give an example? I don't know if they give an example. They must at some point.
Well, the problem is everybody has a different off limits.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Someone polled 6,000 Americans, and in general, we think people just can't take a joke these days, but it's a mixed bag. 35% said we can't take a joke at all anymore. 22% think the real problem is too many jokes about off-color topics, and 31% said both are true. 68% think we're more likely to be offended than we were a decade ago. Only 12% said less likely. So what are the rules about crack? No, good. We got to the rules. Rules about cracking jokes in 2023. 42% of us think it's never okay to joke about anything people might find offensive.
That's
what's
where
humor about then?
Yeah, that's comedy.
Yeah.
That's what comedy is, isn't it?
Like you're gonna make fun of a body part being abnormally this or that, like big.
You can say the word small.
Small.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's make fun of small body parts.
You make fun of people with big ears. I mean, if you can't take a joke, you get some elephant ears. Take a joke for Christ's sake.
And that's what's like, yeah. I think you just gotta really take a second and be around that person. You can't come in hot for a second because you never know, right? Like where people are coming from that day.
That is true. Even though young people are called snowflakes a lot, boomers are actually the most likely to get to agree with the fact that 42% of us think it's never okay to joke about anything that people might find offensive. I don't think that's true. Boomers grew up hearing things that were offensive constantly.
Yeah.
Maybe they just got sick of it, though. Maybe that's what it is.
I can't imagine those starting hot, like walking into my in-laws and being like,
God.
"Hey Pam, nice haircut." Like,
I like it, though. It's a good start.
do you know what I hate about Minnesota comedy though? Sometimes we do this. We joke about things that we're serious about. Like, let's say
What, we get you up too early today?
Let's say, like, you don't like
She's on
shoes.
screen.
Let's say you don't like shoes in the entryway, and you're like, oh, yeah. Tripping over those shoes. Like, you try to make a joke over, do you just want me to move my shoes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's something Minnesotan about I can't directly say.
I know exactly what you're trying to say because I was talking to a woman at a PTA meeting one night, and our conversation was going a little long, and she's a friend of mine. I've known her since high school. And this woman walked out who was on the PTA, looked at her and went, "Are you still talking?" It was like, could you just ask her to maybe start helping you? I mean,
Right?
Instead of, So
That's the shit. That's the
Yeah.
stuff I just cannot stand. Is
Absolutely.
when, like, it's veiled,
Yeah.
like, really what they want.
That's what Minnesotans do constantly.
I
though.
hate that.
Yeah.
Minnesotans
like-
are famous for trying to cover up their really deep insults.
What, you mean to tell me Minnesotans don't share their feelings?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
Ridiculous.
here to
That's
tell
so
you.
silly. I
Hit
can't
things-
believe that you'd say that.
Oh,
Hit
it
things
never happened.
directly.
Exactly. 38% of us think any topic is okay to joke about, but half of those people say it depends on the spirit of the joke and whether it's funny or not. I don't really have an opinion on this because I don't really joke around with people I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah, you don't.
I just don't, Oh, wait a minute. There's related comedy. 5 ways to respond to someone who says your joke isn't funny.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is there audio? Because that's all it just says that, and then the story ends. So, but it doesn't say there's any audio either. That would have been great. Let me click on it.
You know, the one thing about
Yeah, there it
joking
is.
with people that you don't know is
Yeah.
that I'm okay with it, but I always feel like the second I say something and I get that bad look, I'm like, was that too far? I can never tell.
Yeah.
Or somebody else will make a joke and I'm like, oh, we're in this realm now. And then I'll say something and the room will go silent. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought we were all making that joke. And they're like, whoa, dude, calm down a little bit. I didn't realize I was stepping over the line when I said that.
Yeah, but you're quick to apologize.
Yeah, and then I'm quick to apologize, but then I dwell on it for 4 days.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
for
I
sure.
shouldn't have said that. I know, it's so dumb.
But at least you're quick to apologize because, like, if I apologize, I feel way better than sitting and thinking about it for ages. I even might do a follow-up text apology because it'll eat me up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, basically, are either one of you any Scandinavian at all? Any part Scandinavian?
Yeah, a lot of it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Now, there's a group of people, man, it's hard to try to be funny around Scandinavians because they got their own club. My son-in-law is a Scandinavian, 100% Scandinavian. And they have these certain barriers. Like there's this Scandinavian barrier. Like unless you're in the club, you can't joke around with me. I suppose, in a way, it's kind of like having a different skin color. They're like so white, it's a different skin color. You know, and they get very, very offended. It's like, that wasn't that offensive, but they do. They just have they have their own rules. You know that. If you're not Scandinavian, you're not going to be accepted as much. It's just how it used to be. I don't know if it's still like that.
Now, it's funny because I don't think people think like that now because there's because I don't really care what you are. I don't care about your skin. I don't care about any of that stuff. And when people ask me, it's funny. I was nominated for Serbian of the Year.
Serbian, there you go.
Serbian of the Year with my last name. And right when they had told me that I was nominated for Serbian of the Year, I had to come to them and be like, hey, by the way, I don't know if you realize this, we're all mutts. And my last name is Pavic, but I take it from my grandfather. But I was originally born a Johnson. So I'm all sorts of Sweden, Scandinavian, all that. I have and I had just taken an Ancestry.com DNA test, and I am like 0.8% Scandinavian, Serbian. And they were like, yeah, so unfortunately you're out. I was like, yeah, because that's all we are nowadays is everybody who takes somebody else's last name and then you're this and your dad was half Italian, but then there was a quarter German. And it's just, we're all just a big bag of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your real first name? Like Bill Johnson?
Nathan Johnson.
Nathan Johnson. Yeah. Okay. There.
Yep.
God, that's pretty odd though, isn't it? Or is Nathan a big name in Scandinavia?
I have no idea. See, that's the other thing too. Is like everyone goes, "Well, Nathan, like what? That must have." And I'm like, I don't care. I do not care where it came from. I don't care that it was named after a. It could have been a guy who was living in the streets in Scandinavia, or it was a prince. I have no idea.
Or the hot dogs.
Could be the hot. I would prefer the hot dogs.
Could be.
Yeah.
But I mean, you think about names like Tom and Bill and all those names. I mean, they don't really stand out too much.
Yeah, that's
just the way it is. Which is fine with me, by the way. So it all works on the end. We're talking about the top 5 ways to respond to someone who says your joke isn't funny. So apparently you tell them a joke, and they go, well, that's not funny. Does that ever happen to you guys?
Oh, yeah. Well,
really?
They don't really need to say it. You can tell by the look in their eyes.
Yeah, I was going to say, It happens on the show all the time for me.
Ooh, this is cold. The story starts, prudes, joke police, and Baptists. Do Baptists not have a good sense of humor?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. It's one thing about growing up Catholic. Catholics do have a good sense of humor. I think just because of what you mentioned, though. Because you're thrown in there with, like, the Italians and the French and the Mexicans. And there are all so many different kinds of people that are Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
That I suppose it is easy to offend people. Tough shit, though, is what I would say. The top 5 ways you respond to someone who says your joke isn't funny. Neither is your face, but I still laugh at it. Yeah, that might kick things up a notch or two.
Bring things. I wouldn't say it's going to calm anybody down.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Your joke is not funny. Well, neither is your face.
Neither is your face.
What are you, 6 years old,
right?
For Christ's sake? Well, someone woke up on the wrong side of the sad, empty life. Well, that's a pretty good line.
Yeah.
That's not a bad line. Does it hurt to sit with a stick lodged far up your ass? Like that one, too. So far, so good. Mm-hmm. Too bad the border wall isn't as impenetrable as your sense of humor. Guess you had to be there. Thank God you weren't, since you're a soulless robot. That's not funny in the least, but yes, dear.
Yes, dear?
I think it's supposed to be a play on, like...
Well, I know, but it's still not funny.
Your, like, significant other moment.
Yes,
I don't know.
Dear.
Yes, dear.
Maybe I'll say that to, like, Dan Seaman later on today. He'll call me and he'll go, what do you think, Tom? I'll go, yes, dear.
I think he'd probably appreciate just some
probably.
compliancy.
Probably true. Weird. I don't smell Axe body spray, yet you're still a D-bag. I don't get that joke at all.
Because D-bags usually wear Axe body spray.
And it's that a cologne or something?
Yeah, and it is pungent on the nostrils.
Yes. Is it cheap?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can buy a can of it for like... And when I say can, it's literally an aerosol can that you spray onto you.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's one thing I got to hand up, full admission. I looked this morning and I went, Tom, Jesus, Palomino, On my bureau in my bathroom, I have 10 bottles of cologne.
Oh, yeah.
Different styles or all the same?
No, they're all different styles.
Really?
There's some Italian, there's some, French, there's some this.
Is that you buying them or other people?
I've been buying it for years, apparently.
Like you smell something and you go, I like that, and get it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Just some like Cartier makes really good men's whatever fragrance.
Do you use it every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you asking me that for? Because some days you don't smell that
You
great,
never
so
smell bad.
I just want you to know.
I'll be very honest. You never smell bad.
Yeah, I'm not big on smell. There were a couple of guys who either had the pit smell, the feet smell, or the ass smell, and I'm not big on any of it. You'd have you'd hang out with your buddies when you were a teenager, and everybody go, it's too late to go home. You can just all sleep downstairs on the couches.
Yeah.
You'd go down there the next day, and you could smell what they left behind, I'll tell you that.
Reeks.
Particularly foot odor.
Yeah.
I don't have, do you guys have foot odor?
No.
I don't either.
But I feel like that is wearing good socks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is key. I used to wear really cheap socks, and sometimes they would smell like after running and stuff like that. But no, I don't. Like, I'm really adamant about making sure I don't.
Oh, my God. This one's a little harsh. Were you born without a funny bone, or did it flee your body because of how much you suck? That's a little harsh. Jesus. We're getting a little hard line here.
Yeah, these are really falling off the end of the cliff as we keep going.
Well, they also
really
said
are.
the top 5 ways, and we're on like 15 right
there
now.
is that.
So,
Sorry, Mr. Pence. I don't get that joke. Is that the vice president?
Mike Pence, yeah.
Does he not have a sense of humor?
No, not at all.
I have no idea what the hell he's all about. He seems very stoic to me.
Yeah.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
But who does? Does any politician have a good sense of humor?
There might be one or two in the mix.
Maybe.
Yeah.
you know what? I hate to defend Mr. Pence here, but I'm fine with them not having sense of humor. I'm fine with them having, I don't need him to do it all.
Yeah.
do the job.
Although it is weird that he calls his wife mom. That is very weird.
Oh, does he really?
Super
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It's also weird that he
Mother.
won't have
Mother.
meals
Oh,
with
yeah.
women without his wife there.
Yeah.
That's when you go, that's weird to me.
My God. Yeah. What is this? Amish country? What are you doing here?
That's weird to me, but whatever.
Well, I can promise you, if a guy calls his wife mother, they're very religious. That's a very religious
Very
thing.
religious thing to do.
It is.
Justin called me mother, I would die inside.
Yeah.
I would be
Hello, mother.
like we're never having sex again, I guess.
Yeah.
Ever.
Could you imagine?
No,
way.
I cannot.
Catherine might call me that, but add another word at the end of mother.
Uh-huh.
But that's different.
Maryland farmer.
Maryland farmer. And finally, this one's kind of cold. I think I like it, but I can't tell. If I had your teeth, I wouldn't want to smile either. That's kind of
not bad.
That's pretty mean.
I actually think you would say that. And if you said that deadpan.
Oh, yeah, you got to do a deadpan. You're right.
You
It's gotta
would
be
actually really hurt people's feelings. Like, I think you personally, Tom, could say that one and
You're
kill.
born without a funny bone. See, that one's not funny no matter how you do it. But yeah, if I had your teeth, I wouldn't want to smile either.
See, that's not bad.
Yeah, it'd be all right. It'd be okay. We do have to take a break here, ladies and gentlemen. On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million MyPillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillows, regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king-size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to the special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products, such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow history. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at hubbardinteractive.com.
Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates nearest you. And that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins.
Tom Barnard Morning Show. Okay, Rudy, I've got a list of things, unusual things celebrities have in their homes. And I want you to tell me if, A, this is something you'd want in your home if you were uber rich, and then eventually, like, what, if there's something that you would definitely want that's probably unique, like, on its own.
Yeah.
Sheryl Crow has traditional death masks that were created after the person passed away, including former presidents William McKinley and William Howard Taft.
What does the death mask look like? Do you know? Does
No
it show
idea.
a picture of it? Okay. Well, when you have stuff like this, mostly you own it so that you can just talk about it. So it's just a conversation piece. You own it in the house, so when people walk in, they go, "Oh, look, what do we got here?" And you're like, "Well, actually, this is a William Taft's death mask." You don't say, and then you have it's almost like you have a chambered way to make you look like you're smart. And I don't know. I feel like this is just one of those things that you have more so just to have the conversation about.
So a death mask is actually like a mask they make of the person who died, like a replica of their face. So I was thinking it was like something unique, zany, like a wrestling mask.
Yeah, I thought it was like Point Break, where like the robbers are surfers, man. Like that's what I thought. It was just like the ex-presidents.
All right, Tom, how about this? Would you want this in your house if you were like uber rich? Robert Downey Jr., his house is converted into a 19th century windmill.
No, thank you.
No, you're not into that.
No, and he's not either. He's just trying to make a point about how wealthy he is.
That's probably true. RuPaul has a disco room that has 26 disco balls.
That must be a big room.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not into the disco era, but it would be nice to just like every now and again just go, you know what? Instead of us going downtown tonight, how about we bring the party here? That's why I dig Paisley Park.
Right?
That's why you just partied there. Yeah.
I do love that. Okay, how about this? Zed, he has a Skittles dispenser that's the size of a vending machine. Would you want your favorite candy ready to go in a machine like that?
No way. It'd weigh 800 pounds.
Same.
No way.
Same.
Yeah. Also, Skittles are garbage.
Skittles
I
are
agree with
garbage.
that.
Absolutely. That's one thing us three can all agree on. But I don't want easy access to stuff like that.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Well, here's one. Rainn Wilson. He has a pig farm and barn, collectible gas station art, including Mobil's Pegasus logo, which has bullet holes. Would you go weird animals if you were uber rich?
No. But I do like Rainn Wilson a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go, like have like llamas or anything in the backyard, but if I did have like a small place, it'd be nice to have an old-timey garage with like the old gas station signs, just something where you can wrench on your old ride, you know?
I hate to tap into horse girl, but I think I might, because I'm kind of scared of horses. Like, I think I'd want to get like a baby horse, like a foal, and their mom, and then like get used to a horse that way. Because then I feel like that would be my rich person move. And then of course have an insane amount of dogs.
Yeah, because Jude's weird enough.
Yeah. Also,
I don't need to change anything.
Horse Girl is the worst superhero of all time.
Horse Girl is the worst.
Who is that?
That's what she just said. That's
like-
a Horse Girl.
Oh, no, she said horror girl, actually.
Both.
You actually said horror girl.
I've always wanted to be a horse girl. Alex was a horse girl.
She was, yes. She was
Absolutely. Like you're obsessed with horses. And I'm that white slut.
indeed. There you go.
Thanks, Rudy.
Not a problem. He'll take care of you. No, there were a lot of horses when I was. We were all living together. Alex and Catherine both did. Andy and I didn't, but they both did.
Didn't you guys name them after your kids?
No.
I thought you
there
had.
was one horse named Alex. Yeah.
I thought you had a horse named Andy and Alex. For some reason, I made that up. Maybe there was only one with the Alex.
After the one not knowing where to grab the lead on a horse happened to me, I didn't go near them after that.
Yeah.
You know that story.
Yeah, when she asked you to bring
Bit
the
me
horse.
right on the damn tricep. Holy God, did that hurt?
Yeah.
They got some big teeth, man. But I thought you'd lead a horse just like a dog at the end of the leash. No.
No,
Right
here.
under the chin, baby. I didn't realize that.
I have like a fascination with horses because I think they're so beautiful and big.
They are,
but I'm
yeah.
very and I'll ride one, but I get very nervous about walking behind them. I'm terrified about walking behind them because if a horse just wants to kick you, you're brain dead. Done.
Oh, you're right about that.
Like what? No. If my dog kicks me, nothing happens.
I don't remember the horse's name, and I wish I did, because it was really cool what that horse did, and I don't know why. There was something about it, or I don't know, whatever, but every time I would go down and look at the horses, because it's beautiful to watch them running through the meadow and all that crap.
Yeah.
All right, we had like 27 or 28 acres, something like
I was going
that.
to say you had 28 horses.
Oh, she had 22, I think.
Catherine had 22 horses
so,
at one
yeah.
time. Is that just a thing? People just get one and then they get 20?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Really?
I wish I could remember the name of this horse because there were about 8 billion different names, but it was really kind of cute, and I don't know why, but I would stand just leaning against the fence, and this one horse would come over and stick her face right in front of mine and just keep it there. She'd just look at me. Isn't that weird? Why would a horse do that? It's not like a threatening thing, is it?
I don't know. Gogo likes to do that, which is so
Well,
cute.
yeah, that's a
But
different
the horse
deal.
is doing that is so cute for some
Well, it was
reason.
very cute, but you always wondered, is she threatening me or is she trying to be sweet? What's she doing?
I don't know.
'Cause
That's
it
why
was
I
never
don't.
made clear.
I never know. And they say like, look at their ears, right? And I'm always like, I don't know
Oh,
what their
yeah.
ears are doing. I
Yeah.
just want to like know that they're cool with me. I want them to lay on their back and like let me pet their tummies, and then like we'll live our lives.
A friend of mine sent me a video once of a guy, and I don't have it, otherwise I'd show it to you. But a guy was teasing a horse. The horse spun around so quickly, it was unbelievable, and kicked that guy about 15 feet across the meadow.
Yes, no.
Oh, my
Yes,
God.
no. Yeah, no.
That looked like it really... But the guy was torturing the horse.
Yeah, well,
What are
I
you
mean,
doing?
that's terrifying. The idea of getting kicked by a horse is something that lives in my head of
Oh, yeah.
lists of things I don't want to happen.
No doubt about it. No question about that at all, ladies and gentlemen. Brittany was talking about this earlier this morning to me off the air. Lawsuit by former dancers accuses Lizzo of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. Does that surprise you? I don't know Lizzo very well. I've seen her on TV a couple of times, never really watched it. She seems like an asshole.
Okay.
Oh, she goes, okay.
Walk carefully here, Britt.
No, I'm bummed. If this is true, I'm bummed because all of her music and all of her concert is just about celebrating whatever or what your body is, where it's at, and like I mean, there's no. So it would really bum me out if this was true.
I suppose I better read the story because I haven't read the story. I don't know what it's all about. Lizzo has been sued by 3 former dancers who accused the Grammy winner of sexual harassment and alleged the singer and her production company created a hostile work environment. Civil lawsuit filed yesterday in Los Angeles County Superior Court claims Lizzo pressured the dancers to engage with nude performers at a club in Amsterdam and shamed one of them for her weight gain. Lizzo criticized someone else for weight gain?
Man, isn't that the pot calling the kettle? Oh,
Something.
never mind. Sorry.
The pot calling the kettle. It kind of rhymes with the word black.
I gotta
in
go.
a way.
I
but
can't. My career is not successful enough to take this heat.
look, here's what I'm saying though. If you are that big And I, one time, and I weighed like 315 in my lifetime, so I've been a big fella myself. But you don't harass other people about their weight gain when you're a woman weighing 350 pounds.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Is she misdirecting? Is that what this is? Is that she thinks that about herself, so she puts it on you?
Well, she tries to. I know Brittany was saying like she celebrates women and blah blah blah. But then why are you on the internet once every 6 months crying, just going, "These people can't take us down. We need to stand up. We need to rise up, ladies." Really, if you were that like secure in yourself, why are you crying constantly on the internet?
Well, who's taking them down?
Well, somebody will troll her on the internet and then she gets all upset about it.
I feel like that was 2020 that she would do that crying thing. Like, it's been a while for her to do that weird crying thing.
Okay, but you do admit that it has happened.
1,000% it's happened.
Okay, so how good about yourself can you feel when you are in that situation? You can't.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know anything about these people. It just, okay, well, let me read some more because there's some pretty interesting stuff in here. It looks like, anyway. Plaintiffs Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez make numerous charges, including sexual, religious, and racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, and false imprisonment. The legal complaint seeks unspecified damages. The name's Melissa Vivian Jefferson, known professionally as... Why didn't she go with Melissa Jefferson? That name would really stand out. That name stands right out. Her production company, Big Girl, spelled Grrrl. Get it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Big Touring Incorporated, Shirlene Quigley, a captain of the performance dance team. Representatives for Lizzo didn't immediately respond to emails seeking comment. That's not a good sign when you don't immediately respond. Do you think?
Yeah. This was not great yesterday. This actually bummed me out.
Does it get a lot worse?
No, it's so vague right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but I would like her to respond.
Yeah, and somewhere in here, apparently, the story's quite long, so I don't want to go on and on and on. But apparently, she was forcing people to eat things that they didn't want to eat, and apparently she was forcing people to do all kinds of things they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're claiming anyway. I don't know. She seems like a pain in the ass, though, doesn't she?
No, I like her.
You like everybody.
I know.
Everybody comes along. Oh, we gotta impress Brittany.
That's usually what they're going for.
They
succeed.
Would Brittany like the Beatles once called me and said, "Tom, do you think if we released Yellow Submarine that Brittany would like?" Even though it was before you were born.
It's easy. I am very much so. I like her. She's fun. Her shows are fun. Her music's good.
Can she sing?
Yeah, I don't know. Like what the parameter. I think she can sing, but like. Her lyrics are fun. I mean, her new song "Pink" is so cute.
What's it about?
It's like wearing pink. It's just cute.
It came from Barbie.
Yeah, the Barbie.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes total sense. So she's trying to cash in on the Barbie movie, is she?
Yeah,
is she in the Barbie movie?
No, just the song, and it's like interactive
Okay.
in it. It's kind of like the first line of it is the actual song, and the second one's like, "Hey Barbie, what are you doing?" Is Barbie's days kind of getting screwed up. It's super cute.
Is Lizzo from here?
Yes.
Oh, I thought so.
Not originally.
Oh, not originally. Okay.
Yeah, so she kind of used Minneapolis as like a stepping stone because I believe it was originally Houston is where she was from, and then moved to Minneapolis, and then really kind of made her name here, and then moved on. I'm not sure exactly where she lives now. I imagine probably L.A. or Austin or one of those trendy cities.
There you go. Quigley, who served as a judge on the singer's reality show Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls, is accused in the lawsuit of pushing her Christian beliefs onto dancers. The court filed. Yeah, I've never heard anybody push their religion on anybody before.
Right.
That's never happened. The court filing claims Quigley referred to Davis as a non-believer and told coworkers, "No job, and no one will stop me from talking about our Lord." Well, why'd they put... I wouldn't be offended by that. She wants to talk about our Lord, go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
If you got a Lord, talk about your Lord. Does it get too much, though? I don't have people do that pontificating stuff to me. Does it get old?
I wouldn't. If you guys came in here once a month and was like, "Brittany, you got to find Jesus Christ," I'd say, "Cool, live my life."
Richard Pryor covered it all.
What do you say?
When he said, "Yeah, boy, I know Jesus."
Done.
That's good. That's right there is all you need to say. Yeah, boy, I know Jesus.
Right.
Like we're personal friends, as a matter of fact. God, he was a brilliant man, and we'll never see another one like him. Too many restrictions now.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I went back and listened to some Richard Pryor like a
Unbelievable.
month ago, and, oh, wow, it is some of the words.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not offended by it, but I'm listening to it just going, man, if you were 23 years old and you heard this for the first time, your mind would be blown.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, the amount of people falling out of their chairs laughing at these words and the things that he is saying, you wouldn't be able to wrap your head around the fact that people found that to be funny.
Yep.
You just couldn't. Eddie Murphy Raw. He walks around talking about, I don't want these F words looking at my ass. If you're an F word, don't you look at my ass. You know which F word I'm talking about, obviously.
Yes.
And people are dying laughing at it. Could you imagine if Bill Burr just got up and did that in front of, like, you know,
No, I can't
Pittsburgh?
imagine.
No, you couldn't. But back then, oh, we loved it.
Well, Dave Chappelle, a white family called the Big Ns.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is one of the funniest bits I've ever seen in my entire life because they're all happy about it because he says hello to them. He's a milkman, I think.
Yeah, he's a milkman, yeah. And the line when he comes in, he was like, hey, don't forget you guys got to leave some money on that envelope. You know, I know how you guys don't like to pay your bills on time.
It's true.
My
It's
God,
phenomenal.
It's so funny.
It's really, really funny.
Yeah.
That man's one of the funniest people ever born.
Oh, yeah.
And nothing will ever top the blind white supremacist.
That was so funny.
Greatest bit of all time. He co-wrote that with our pal. Oh, what the hell is his name?
Neil Brennan?
No, not Neil. Well, Neil Brennan, I'm sure, was involved. But no, the big guy, he's a big guy. God, geez, I can't believe I can't remember his name. I've known the guy for 30 years, for Christ's sake. He's a real big guy. Really very, very funny. I'll figure, yeah.
Darnell Rollins?
No, it's not. No, it's a white guy.
Oh, white guy. Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's a white guy, but I can't. God, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name.
While Brittany's looking that up, the ending of that bit when he's a black white supremacist who finds out that he's black and then divorces his wife because she married a black guy. That's
It's
like one
so
of the
funny.
best twists on the. It's like a best button on a sketch ever.
Although they didn't say she married a black guy.
No, of course not. No, of course not. No.
See, I find that I think if we opened the gates and just let everybody riff on everything and be funny about it, we'd be a lot happier. Instead, we've closed all the doors and all the gates and all. Just let it all out. Do it for about a year and a half, and then you'll shut up for the rest of your life. Get it out. Whatever. We got any good names? Let's go. Go with them.
I can't find the writer on this right now.
On the blind white supremacist?
Correct.
Oh, Jesus. His
Bobcat
name,
Goldthwait?
Nope.
Is that what you're saying? Because he
Nope.
said,
somebody will know.
yeah. Somebody will email us.
What's the email again? I forgot.
Just you go on the app on the top left corner, do feedback, and it'll
do
send
feedback.
Me, yeah.
Because honest to God, he's been in town a million times. Oh, as a matter of fact, the last time he was here, he told me he was on stage and he brought up my name and somebody started booing. Said, well, you can boo all you want, but you've never been invited to his house now, have you?
There you go. Hey-o.
He's a very, very nice guy, very funny guy, too.
You know, I'm looking this up. I don't know if this would be right or not, but I'm looking this up on IMDb, and it says the writers are Dave Chappelle, Neil Brennan, and is this right? Norman Lear?
Norman Lear? I never saw what?
How could that even be possible?
I don't know if I'm buying that one.
I don't.
Big J. Okerson?
Yep, Big
Oh,
J.
Big J.
That's
Yeah,
Big
that's
J.
right,
That's exactly
yes.
right.
Darren wrote in for that one.
Big J. Okerson was one of the writers. There's no Norman Lear on that. Is that a joke?
No, it says, I mean, this is on IMDb as a writing credit. Absolutely. Norman Lear.
Well, he was funny. Well, I don't know
Wow.
about that. But yeah, Big J. You ever work with Big J?
I've never worked with Big J. I've been around him. I have friends of mine that know him very well. And this was years ago. I was driving down. I was driving in front of the Target Center, and Big J. Okerson was walking down the street by himself.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 11 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And I was with probably 3 other comics, and we were just open micers. We were just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Big J. And, he's by himself. It's 11 o'clock. I think he had a show earlier that night. He was opening for Korn at First Ave or something
Really?
like that. Yeah. And
Jesus.
he was walking by, and I just yelled out, "Big J!" And he turned around. He's like, "Hey, where you guys going somewhere? You guys want to hang or something?" I was like, "Oh no, drive!" I was like, "We're not
ready."
Yeah, we're not ready to hang out with Big
Oh,
J. yet."
really?
Yeah. Oh no, because you get one shot. That old deodorant commercial. You get one shot to make a first impression, and I didn't want Big J. Okerson to meet me when I was like some crappy open micer, 15 years ago.
Oh, that's funny. Go, go,
Hit
go.
the gas, move.
You got to know him after that, though, didn't you?
I've met him a couple times. I know him very, very, very little.
Just a great guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of who he used to travel with because he traveled with the same guy a lot too back in the day. But I'm going back now like 25 years, so that's why.
Yeah, he was a Tell's opener for a long time.
Yeah, he was.
And then Dave Smith, him and Dave Smith, they have a podcast together. Dave Smith, very smart guy, very funny, and just he's very much so, I want to say, like a libertarian, and really just like hammers down on society and what. It's good points and it's bad points. But yeah, Dave Smith, him and Big J rolled together a lot, and Dave is very smart.
He's like Ron Swanson walking around being a libertarian.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ron Swanson. That's not a Minnesota name at all, is it?
No, it's from Parks and Rec, and it's this guy who's always like, he works for the government, and he's like, the government is just a leech on society, and he like goes on and on about it.
Who plays that part?
Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a good fit.
Yeah.
It was
that's a good fit.
so funny, and he's
I've
like,
never seen that show.
oh, it's so funny.
Is it really?
I think that the Amy Poehler's character is at your daughter Alex.
Oh, really?
They are interchangeable. She actually dressed up as her for Halloween once. They are the same person. Their personality is exactly the same.
Yeah, I got to catch up with a lot of that stuff because there are a lot of those shows I never got a chance to watch.
Yeah, you'd get a real kick out of Parks and Rec.
That's what I hear. There are a couple of shows that I should catch up on, I would think.
Well, you've got time.
Oh, by the way, catching up on shows, I watched another episode of Mall Cops, Mall of America from 2009.
What drama's happening?
There are actually 11 episodes of that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because we had talked yesterday, there were only like 3 episodes, but there are 11.
What happened this epi?
There was one guy at the Mall of America that was very drunk, and he's all dressed up for winter. It's the middle of winter. It's like 7 below. So the cops are outside because a car blew up, not in the parking lot, but right on the street in front of Mall of America.
Dang.
So they're putting that out. And then this guy starts being belligerent with the cops in the mall. I mean, the cop could have slaughtered this guy if he wanted to. The guy kept going, let me just tell you something. I'm going to punch you in the goddamn jaw if you don't leave me alone.
Oh, no.
I'm not drunk like you claim I am. And he's just yelling at the cops and all the rest of it. It was how they have the patience to put up with that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I've been drunk at the Mall of America, and it's never a good idea.
I bet.
It's
I bet
just
that's not
never.
a good idea.
There's too many, like, different people there for different reasons. So it's like, you don't want to be drunk and then watch like a little kid run by you with a wristband to go on a ride. It's just not the vibe.
No.
You're just like, what am I
Yeah.
doing with my life? Like,
Oh, and
why
by the way, the intro to that segment, the guy actually says, you're going to see a bit of a video now about a man who weighs well over 300 pounds. He gives the guy's body weight.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with the story.
Not really. Because the guy's about 5'7", something like that, 315. So I suppose if you're over 300, you're considered a big guy, I guess. But
Yeah.
if it's all fat, you're not really a big guy. You're a fat guy.
It's just funny because it's like, yeah, we
I
have
know.
eyes. We're going to see Mall of America announcer guy.
Well, he
like,
did have a coat on, so maybe they thought the coat was really puffy.
That's funny.
God, he was just a belligerent prick. And then at the very end, they put him on the train to go downtown, to go home. And as the train goes by, he goes, yeah, bye.
Just like bundled up, like he's heading to
bundled up.
school.
Oh, God. So far, that show's pretty damn funny, those people, the stuff that they do at the Mall of America. There's always a fight there. Always.
Where are you watching this?
It's on, God, what the hell channel is it on? I don't remember.
Okay, next time you're done it, just shoot me a text of what streaming service, because
just called-
I'm in. I'm actually, you know what, the first time you said it, I was like, meh, this one, I'm in.
Oh, no, there's some weird stuff in there, but there's also, there's one guy that keeps hitting on a cashier at one of the clothing shops, and he brings her a I don't know what you call it. What's that art where they put all the vines together and build little, so you can see right through them. It's literally built with twigs and vines.
Okay.
But he gives her a snowman, the smoking pipe. But inside the snowman, he put about 2 handfuls of condoms.
Okay.
So she calls the cops and goes, "This is not good." And the cops get there, and the guy goes, "What's the problem? I don't understand why there's a problem. All I did was give her a snowman. All I did was give her a Santa Claus." And they said, "What?" He said, "I gave her a thing of Santa Claus." They said, "That's a snowman. It's not Santa Claus."
That's their big argument. Like, I think that's so fun. Like, hey, idiot, it's a snowman. By the way, also 20 condoms.
Mm-hmm.
It's
There's
like
a lot
Wicker?
of condoms.
Was it like
was
Wicker?
Like Wicker,
Okay,
kind of like
yeah.
Wicker. You could see right through the thing. I mean, it was a cute little deal
Was it though?
without the condoms.
Without the Sans condoms would have been better.
I gave her a Santa Claus. No, that's not Santa Claus.
It's a Trojan Santa Claus.
Trojan Santa,
it's
yeah.
Trojan Santa Claus. I'm looking this up. You can watch it on Sling or on YouTube TV.
All right, I'm in.
On Sling or YouTube? And I'm not watching it on either. It's on something else, too.
Well, it does have it on Amazon Prime.
That's where, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if that's one you got to pay for or not, but yeah, but it's one of those streaming services you can watch it.
I think well, part of that segment yesterday, too, they were celebrating the Minnesota Vikings. Scott Studwell was out there. Carl Eller was out there. And that part was really cool to watch because all the cops who worked at the Mall of America, in 2009 this took place, so it's 14 years ago, but they're so excited to meet Scott Studwell and Carl Eller and a couple other Vikings. That part I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
That there is that special affinity for your Minnesota Vikings in the state of Minnesota. They are adored here, even though they haven't won anything in about 60 years, but you know.
Oh, yeah. Adored.
But they are. There's no question about it.
No, they are, for sure.
Well, and I'll tell you, I know both Scott Studwell and Carl Eller personally. They're both really good guys.
Yeah.
So they were very receptive. But first time I ever met Carl Eller, who's about 6 inches taller than me and could squash me like a bug, he comes up and he goes, "Hey, Tommy, how you doing? It's nice to meet you." I don't know, I'm kind of afraid, though. You look like a pretty tough guy. I'm like, yeah, okay, Carl.
You know, that's his
Laugh it up,
go-to.
you pain in the ass.
That's ingenious, though. That's a good
It is.
go-to line for guys because it really puts down people's guards.
He is huge. You ever stood next to him?
No.
Holy God, is he big.
I don't get to stand next to
You
Vikings.
know, I don't know if he still does, but he used to live in North Minneapolis.
Really?
Yep, and almost his whole Viking career, he lived in North Minneapolis. Maybe he still does. I don't even know, but one of the nicest men you'd ever want to meet.
That's awesome.
A great guy. And so Scott Studwell and I are really good friends, and it's just, I suppose one of those dreams as a kid that, hey, man, I became friends with a team that I thought was God. Because back when I was a teenager in my 20s, everybody, the Vikings, man, don't you besmirch the Vikings in any way, shape, or form.
There's a lot of things you've gotten to do.
I have. I've been very lucky.
Like, you as a kiddo would never believe that you got to go
No, you're absolutely right about that. We better take a break here, ladies and gentlemen. I love this. I am so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many, many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. They always have and always will. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because they're service experts, are experienced NATE certified technicians, not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need, when they need it, and at the fair price. Keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, 7:52 now. It's 8 minutes till 8 o'clock. Kristyn Burtt joins us from Los Angeles, California. Kristyn, I need you to be the judge on something.
Okay.
Which one well, I'm sincere about both of them, but I just did something talking to Brittany that I went, that sounded really weird. And we're talking about a couple of friends of ours, right? And the first one I said, oh, man, I just love that guy. He's such a sweetheart of a guy, very, very nice man, just a great guy. Then she mentioned another guy and go, God, I love him. What a crabby bastard that sumbitch is. Now, how can you like both? This one guy's sweet, the other one's a crabby bastard, and I love them both.
That's possible, because some people I think are charming curmudgeons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't, it doesn't bug me. I think that's why, Hugh Grant is kind of a pill in Hollywood, but at the same time, his curmudgeonly ways are somehow charming, at least on screen, and it works well for him. And then other people, it's just like, if they were crabby, you would absolutely hate them because they can't pull it off as well.
No, that's it. And it is pulling it off. You're absolutely right about that. And thank you, by the way. You just reminded me. My mother's face appeared in my head when you called someone a pill. Because you used to go, knock it off, you pill. My mother used to say that all the time.
With my words when it comes to Hugh Grant.
He is a big pill, isn't he?
He is. His personality, he really is like the guy he plays on the screen.
Really?
Yeah.
He's that crabby.
Even though he's charming and sometimes, but when you see that, like, sort of like when he is always like, I don't want to do that. And he plays like the bumbling, like, Englishman who's like just kind of cranky. That is his personality. And if you have him on a bad day for an interview, God bless you, because it's a tough one. He'll give you, he's kind of like De Niro, gives you those yes, no, sarcastic answers. And that can be tough because you're like, come on, work with me. You're at the Oscars, or just don't do the interview because I'll tell you, in 2023, nobody's forcing anyone to do interviews. If you really just don't want to do it, you go, you get your photograph taken on the red carpet, and away you go.
Yeah, so go away.
Go away. It's fine. No one's, it's a bummer for me to go back to my editor and be like, Hugh Grant wasn't doing interviews. But at the same time, I don't want to deal with someone who's going to give me one-word answers because that does me no good.
Yeah.
You know what you should do next time he does that to you? Say, really, Hugh, just calm down. I'm not that hooker you were caught with. I'm a different woman.
Oh, my God.
Appreciate that.
That'll be a good tip for you. He'll take that.
He will never live that story down.
No, he will not. You're right.
He will never. That just was... on the corner of Sunset Boulevard with the sex worker, while he had like one of the most beautiful women in the world, Elizabeth Hurley, as his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that doesn't matter. If men want to cheat, they're just going to cheat. But and then he went on Jay Leno with that apology, which I think saved him. It was a good apology.
I remember that. And again, I'm not trying to judge anybody. You do what you do and all the rest of it. But I've never understood that the guys that just cannot stop themselves from cheating. It's like, why do you do that?
Good question. I'm not a cheater, so.
Yeah, by guys, I'm talking about men and women. Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Women do it just as much as men do it. A lot of it, I think, in Hollywood at least, it's circumstantial. Like you're on a movie set for 3 months. You're working in a bubble. Your significant others are not anywhere near you, and everyone's in a hotel room. Maybe they have a couple drinks at the hotel bar after a long day on set.
Sure,
things happen, and I'm not saying that that's good, but I'm saying that's how it often happens when it comes to Hollywood romances, and they're just showmances. The second the filming ends, they go their merry way and back to their spouses.
I just saw a headline. I'm so glad you're on right now because I have to ask you about this. Gwyneth Paltrow is putting her home on Airbnb, and you can have dinner with her. What is her problem? What is that?
Gwyneth, she is like She grew up so wealthy.
Oh, really?
She grew up in wealthy, not only LA circles, but also New York elite circles.
Oh.
She went to prep school. And I don't think she has any grasp of her privilege. And if she does, she leans so far into it, she doesn't care anymore. And it's one of those things, she often gets called out for it because she has a brand called Goop, and she'll put out like shopping guides, and like the cheapest, most affordable thing is like $1,500, and it's like a t-shirt. But people buy it. Like, that's the thing. Like, if she didn't have a market for it and she was just being completely oblivious, that's one thing. But there are plenty of women who are hook, line, and sinker on the Gwyneth Paltrow Goop situation.
Yeah, what is Goop anyway, by the way?
It's a lifestyle brand, and I would liken it to like Martha Stewart, but for maybe Gen Xers who have a lot of money, don't know how to spend their money, buy into diet culture, because she does a lot of those fasting kind of diets, things, you know, you're like where you're having soup for 4 days and nothing else. And she lives a very like privileged life. And so I'm sure this is a paid partnership with Airbnb.
Yeah.
I'm 99% sure, because she's not going to have some rando, because then Airbnb is able to probably do a background check on anyone who gets selected to do this. And, you know, and then she gets a nice payday. And this is what I'm talking about right now. With nobody working in Hollywood, we are seeing actors who normally wouldn't do weird partnerships. This is a weird partnership.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
for
you're
a big
absolutely
payday.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the other day, Jared Padalecki or
Padalecki?
Yes. Him and his co-star, they can't call it what it is, but they're kind of doing like a Comic-Con here in Minneapolis next month. And they're just like, hey, these two people are showing up, and they can't even like note like the CW show they're on.
Right.
It was just so vague, and I thought of you, Kristyn, when I saw it. I was like, this is what she was talking about.
Yeah, people are, I would say, like really toeing the line on like, because we have strict rules. We're not supposed to promote shows from struck companies that are under the theatrical contract. So reality shows right now are safe. But it's one of those situations, people are like, I still need to pay my mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say it's just like a fan hangout, it's just a fan hangout. I'm not talking about Supernatural or, you know, or Gilmore Girls or anything that Jared's been on. So he's just saying, hey, come hang out with us. Let's do it. And then he still makes his money.
All right. Remember when you guys criticized me for going, oh, God, Barbie, who needs it? Right? Remember that when you got mad at me about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should go watch Barbie.
Okay. How about this headline? People are being buried in pink Barbie caskets now.
That's fine.
I mean, come on. Oh, God.
You know what?
I think that's been happening for a long time.
I would bet so
I don't know.
too.
It just says
funeral
no.
director upselling the casket.
The Barbie package.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to be buried. I'm just saying, I want to be torched on like Lake and Hennepin, just tied to a pole, my dead body, and then started on fire.
You don't need to be dead to have that happen.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah, I'm not going to be buried, so I don't care. You can have all the pink caskets you want. But I don't understand. It's 6 feet underground, so nobody can see it. What are you doing that for?
What if it was your wishes and you had left the money for your family,
No,
saying,
that's
I want a
fine.
Barbie pink casket? I mean, everyone has wishes. You know, people want to have a party. Other people want to be, you know, their ashes thrown somewhere. I guess that's part of the thing.
There was a guy in Nashville, Tennessee, I believe. I know it was in Tennessee, but I think it was Nashville. He had to buy like 4 grave sites because he wanted to be buried in his Lincoln Continental.
Yeah.
That's a little extra.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He did. They buried him in his car. And those things are about as big as this room, for Christ's sake.
Those are boats.
Things are huge.
Yeah, but please, when I die, bury me in all the things I'm too big of a puss to wear, but on my own, like cowboy boots.
Sure.
You know, it's like something fun. I want like a fedora and cowboy boots. I want like one of those like frilly shirts, like a puffy shirt, like from the guys from Dumb and Dumber, and then give me like a suit jacket that's got my favorite football team on it. That's what I want to be buried in, because I was always too big of a wuss to do it when I was alive.
There you go.
So why didn't you wear cowboy boots? Because I can't wear cowboy boots.
Do you know for the longest time I wanted to wear red pants? I just wanted a pair of red pants.
Put on red pants.
And then I put on red pants, and I was mocked endlessly by my friends. And I was like, never again shall I wear
Even like
red
a
pants.
dark red jean?
Like a crimson-y type of, yes, like a crimson.
Do you have
yes.
photos?
I'm sure because I probably not, because I wore them one time and then I went out and my friends were like, no, we're not, there's no way we're going downtown with you looking like that. And
I think you have to like ease into it. I wear ridiculous things and I've like eased into it and nobody cares. And now I wear whatever and like it's rare anybody says anything. So maybe it's like you just have to keep going. Like don't turn around. Just keep wearing the red pants.
Good God. Now why have you never worn cowboy boots?
I don't know. I like the look of them. I saw a guy in the airport in Portland wearing a pair, and I was like, that's a good look for that guy. I think I'm too stocky. It doesn't work for me. I'm too short. You got to be a little taller.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I look at the Twinkie guy, like Twinkie the Kid, and that guy's got a pair of kick-ass cowboy boots, and I'm like, that's what I want. But it doesn't work for like short dudes like me. It looks weird.
I think you're wrong. I feel like you could pull them out, especially if you like wore just your jeans over them and didn't even acknowledge
the red
it.
ones.
Yeah, the red ones.
You gotta find the right pair. I think that's the big issue. It's like
maybe.
if you get the wrong, and the thing is too, it's like you have to decide on your heel height with cowboy boots.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too high, especially as a guy, because Ron DeSantis gets made fun of for that because his heel is kind of high.
Oh, is it really?
And I'm sure he wants height, of course. Like, why wouldn't you? You're on TV all the time, but so you have to be like have someone really help you with the style of them.
See, I cannot wear cowboy boots. I love cowboy boots. I love some of them, not the real, snazzy looking ones that are about 55 different colors, but a nice cowboy boot, but I cannot wear them because my calves are too big. I got Easter hams for calves. They will not. I've literally tried on every pair, and I can get them up to the bottom of my calf, and that's as far as I can get them up.
Yeah.
It's just the way I was built, I guess. I don't know, whatever.
You and Will Sasso should have a calf off.
Oh, God, I like Will Sasso. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Good dude. Huge calves.
He does
Massive
too, yeah.
calves. Kristyn, you ever met Will Sasso before?
I haven't.
No? Oh, yeah. He's a peach of a man. But, boy, when he walks in the room, his calves come in 10 seconds before he does.
He's still around, isn't he?
Absolutely.
He's doing a TV show, I think.
Yeah, he's got a couple things in the hopper right now. He was just on a TV show with, I'm spacing on his name now, but Ron Livingston. It was called Louder.
Oh, yeah.
It was on Louderman.
It was good.
Yeah, it was great.
yeah.
That was
Really
season
good
was
show.
great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I wonder if I were younger, I'd show you why I can't wear cowboy boots, but I don't know if I could do it anymore. I used to be able to stick my legs straight up in the air.
Yeah, you've kicked them gams up on this camera before.
Really?
Yeah.
You showed us your pickleball.
Dun, dun,
Dang. Whoa. My God. Okay, do not get hurt.
Oh, Lordy.
I used to be able to get over the microphone was the one problem.
Last time it was just like a little side
I just did
angle.
it over
Now
here.
I got like the full 360 view.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm impressed, Tom.
You know what's amazing about that, though?
I may not recover.
Shut up. Leave me alone, you pill. And the one thing about that is I never worked on my legs. I only worked on my upper body because my legs would have only gotten bigger. They're naturally huge like that. I don't know why.
Yeah, tough to find jeans. I'm a guy who I have thick thighs. Tough to find jeans that fit. It sucks. I hate it. Ugh.
My husband's so funny because he'll be like, I can't get my thighs a certain size. And I'm like, nobody cares, Justin. Not your thighs, his calves. He wants his calves to be bigger.
I heard that's a bitch to get, because like I said, mine are just naturally big.
Yeah,
and I heard it's really tough to get your calves big.
It's like, it's just like such a specific, weird thing. Like, sir, you are fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
Don't worry about a thing.
Yeah, do you get calf implants?
Some people did. Yeah.
I know. I remember it was on like MTV. I wanted to change my body kind of thing that they used to have all those hyper niche little documentary series. And one was a guy got calf implants. I remember that very vividly. And it was way before its time. And I thought that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Guys hate skinny calves. I don't know what it is, but
Oh, do they really?
yeah, and I'm telling you, it's like the last thing that women notice. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I would never go, oh my God, I can't date him. He's got skinny calves.
Skinny calves.
I did see a guy yesterday. It's funny you bring that up. What a coincidence. I saw a guy yesterday that I literally thought was a stick figure. His legs were about as big around as a broom handle. He had the thinnest legs I've ever seen. What a
See, it's a
coincidence.
guy thing. It's totally a guy thing because we
Yeah.
wouldn't notice.
No,
I'd be like, whatever.
I mean, I love a long leg. Like, I don't care. Like, it's so funny to me. I'm always like, Justin, your legs look awesome because I'm always like, that's the leg I'd want.
Yeah, so
Right.
there
At
you go.
5'3", I love a long leg.
Totally.
Yeah, John Jones, who is a MMA fighter, is one of the baddest men on the planet, and his calves, they look like pipe cleaners. There's nothing to that.
Isn't that weird?
But his upper body, if he hit you, he would decimate your face. But he has the tiniest little calves of all time.
This is the genetic deal, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes you can't make them any bigger. You can work your ass off and they just won't get any bigger.
Yeah.
Gotta get those calf implants.
I guess so. It's all true.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
So what else is happening out there in Hollywood, Kristyn Burtt?
Some good news.
Ooh,
and
good.
I know, some good news. I actually have two really good stories. The first one is brief, and the second one, this one's for Britt. But the first, I know Britt's like, "Ooh, what'd you bring?" But I just want to say that Writers Guild and the AMPTP are going back to the table on Friday. So let's hope that they can, make some headway and end this strike. This is the first time they will have met since May 2nd.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is the good news. And it was the AMPTP that approached the Writers Guild. Let's hope that this is a sign that they are starting to panic a little bit. Things are getting pretty bad here. I'm not going to lie. Like, economically, things are getting really bad in LA. So I'm hoping that the studios are really starting to feel it, and they realize that they need to start settling these strikes. And they have to go to the Writers Guild first because the last person they spoke with was SAG, so they alternate. So now it's Writers Guild first. And just in case anyone's like, well, why didn't they go to the Screen Actors Guild? They have to go just by natural order to the Writers Guild and start working on negotiations. And then if that stalls, then they'll go to Screen Actors Guild, and then we'll go from there. But let's hope that they can come to an agreement and just get this over with.
Yeah.
I did see something yesterday, and it's funny you brought that up today, because just yesterday I saw a sign at a gas station in Los Angeles, $6 a gallon.
That's rare. That's rare.
It was,
I'm going to be honest. It's under $5 here, which I know is high for the rest of the country, but we're paying about $4.75.
Well, this was just yesterday. You better go check and make sure.
No, you know what it is? It's a lot of times when the news, and this is the thing, when they take a photograph of high gas prices, they go to the one gas station in Beverly Hills, which is always $2 above the rest of the city.
Sure. Yeah, but even in Boise and in Portland this weekend, I think Boise must have been like $4.69 a gallon, and I think Portland was like $5.37 a gallon.
Jesus.
It's up there. Yeah, absolutely.
But that's about right for the West Coast because we have a summer blend and different taxes too. We have a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
No.
And your roads suck. How is it possible that your roads can be that bad and yet you guys charge everybody the most in taxes? It's crazy.
You know what's interesting too is that the roads they just have started to repair them. They got very bad because we had the wettest winter, which is unusual. And I'm used to, hey, you have a winter, you have snow. When you're on the East Coast, you get a lot of potholes, and then you fill them in the spring. This is the first time LA's really had to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's just because of the weather change, and we're probably going into another cycle because it's an El Nino year, which is going to be a very wet winter again for us. So they better patch up some of those potholes because they're bad.
Why is it always Nino instead of Nina?
You know why.
Because it's manly.
There is a La Nina, I think.
There's a La Nina, but you never hear about them.
We had a La Nina year, I think, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Is that kind of like a sugar tit hurricane? Is that what it is?
Men are the problem.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's the problem. You bring in all the horrible weather for us.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Speaking of great sketches, the old SNL Chris Farley sketch when he plays El Nino and he's like, I am El Nino, which is Spanish for the Nino.
The Nino. I thought he was hilarious.
I haven't thought about that.
Funniest.
Oh,
nicest family in the world, too, by the way.
I still love the sketch with him and Patrick Swayze as the Chippendales
The dancers?
He's just always, yeah.
And the figure skating one where he was such a graceful mover, honestly.
Yep.
He would have been a fabulous professional dancer. I'm not kidding, because he's got a lyrical quality to him. He's got great musicality. He could have had a whole other career.
Just that whole thing where he says, and I won't go through the whole bit, but when he goes, I don't speak Japanese, was really
when he's
funny.
on the game show.
He's on the game
He's on the Japanese game show and all these crazy things are happening. He's like, I don't know why I'm here. He's so funny.
It was very funny.
He's just the best. He was just the best.
He's so mad.
Apparently that scene when he's the bus driver in Billy Madison, Adam Sandler was just talking about this like a month ago when he's like, oh, you kids calm down back there. And then like they throw a sandwich at him. when they have the camera on him, and his face is getting red, and he's like, I will jerk the wheel into the ditch, you sons of bitches, kids. It's all improvised.
Oh, that's
He was just supposed to keep driving and like pick up the sandwich, but he did that instead, and that's the cut that made it into the movie.
Oh, so good. It totally made the scene.
So funny.
He did a couple of turns up there at Hazelden, didn't he?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Could you imagine, like, as somebody who's been to rehab, like, it would have been amazing if we would have had Chris Farley I know there's, like, a lot of tragedy, but there was just been that would have just been crazy.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure you probably wasn't supposed to tell me, but there was a friend, like an acquaintance of mine, who was there just during the same time as Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And I was like, that must have been amazing. And he was like, it's not the. I
think it's super sad.
I didn't get the Robin that everybody got. I got super sad, depressed Robin.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was going to say it's probably really dark.
Yeah.
But I
mean, and also his mental health he struggled with it his entire life.
His whole life,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yep.
One thing I will hold dear, I didn't get a chance. I wish it would have been recorded so I could listen to it, but a friend of mine was in the bin the same time Chris Farley was here. And they're going to lunch one day. They're walking around in their pajamas all the time, I guess. And he said Chris Farley walked up to him with a copy of the Star Tribune, the local newspaper. He looks at it and he goes, "Hey, looks like your buddy Tommy's got his tit in the ringer again." That's real nice. I got myself into trouble. He thought that was hilarious. So that's kind of a badge of honor, knowing that Chris Farley thought it was funny that I was in trouble yet again.
Yeah.
Yes, you got a Chris Farley story.
Yeah, I didn't get to hear it, or I never met him. I don't know if I did meet him or not, because I met he's got a few brothers. I know that I've met most of them.
His brother Kevin tours as a stand-up. Yeah,
he's a good guy, isn't he?
Yeah. I've never met him, but yeah, in fact, he was just in town in like Apple Valley doing a show down there.
Was he?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't call. Could have had him on. That would have been fun. But yeah, that whole family. Have you ever looked at the history of that family? It's a really solid family. It really is, the Farleys.
Great documentary that just came out about him in the last year or so.
Yep. Really good. But I mean, God, I wish right now, as far as actors are concerned, and then as far as stand-up is concerned, are there two people that are the best right now like there have been in the past? Because I don't think I could name them.
As a comedian / actor?
Yeah, comedian, actor, and a stand-up.
A stand-up? You know, Bill Burr has become one of the best, not only stand-ups, but his acting is really just top-notch. He did that movie with Pete Davidson, and when you see him on screen with Marissa Tomei and how they interact and his interactions, the way that he explodes, but then he also kind of has this caring side to him as well. His acting right now is just outstanding.
Yeah,
I guarantee that if you give that guy enough roles over the next probably 5 to 10 years, he could probably end up with an Oscar nomination for like a Best Supporting Actor for sure.
You know what's amazing about him? He hates being interviewed. And I mean hates it.
Yeah.
Oh, there is an interview of him destroying a radio guy down in Atlanta. Destroying him. It's one of the funniest. He's like, look at you. He's like, you look like you roofie 10-year-olds. Look at you with your dumb ponytail and your bedazzled jeans. You suck. It's live. It's happening.
Who is it? Do you know who it is?
I can't remember the guy's name. I'll have to look him up. But it was. I remember because I got a job offer from that radio station, 92.9. I think it's called Rock 92.9. And I can see if I can find it. But
where'd they come up with that name?
I know, right? Yeah. But Bill Burr lights this guy
Oh,
up.
my
and
God.
And it was one of those things where I'm like, we got to try to get Bill Burr on the air, man. That'd be great. And then I watched that video and I was like, you know what? I think we're good with Bill Burr. I think we're going to pass.
Especially if it's some of the stations you've been on. Oh, my God.
I
He
could
would
do the
eat
interview.
them up.
I'll do an interview as Bill Burr because I interviewed him one time and I could recreate that interview. So, Kristyn, why don't you be me and I'll be Bill Burr.
All right. So tell us about your latest project.
No, I don't really want to talk about that.
How are you enjoying Minneapolis?
I don't want to talk about that either. I mean, everything. He didn't want to talk about anything.
No. Does your stomach kind of panic when people do that, or no?
No, I don't care at all.
You don't care. You'll like let the awkward silence sit there.
He just does not like, and maybe it's because of this guy that Rudy's talking about. Maybe the guy pissed him off so much he just doesn't want to do interviews anymore.
I mean, I think we all know that it has to be brutal for your everyday radio person to jump on air with them. I mean, people are just,
Or those guys putting up with radio people. I mean, it's got to be very,
That's
very
what I'm
difficult.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other way.
You guys want to hear a little bit of this? I can play just.
You got time? You got time, Kristyn, to hear it?
Yeah, I can't hear it, but I'll.
Yeah, she won't be able to hear. I'll send her the clip so she knows what we're talking about. But yeah, here you go.
Hey, this is Southside Steve, and this is Southside Steve TV, and this is Bill Burr.
That's your question?
I'm just saying who you are.
Oh, yeah, all right. I don't like you creep me out with that big microphone and that country western shirt.
Oh, no, this isn't country western. It's like, it's hip now to wear this. This is my nightclub look. Yeah, come on.
All right.
Oh, can you? Oh,
This is. I guess this is the internet, right? You just sort of just throw it out there.
I just throw it out there. I figure you're a funny guy,
throw it out there. I'll throw it out there too.
Well, here's the deal. Bill's a comedian. He's at the Punchline. He's in town, and you're a funny guy. You've got these routines in your head, so I figure I'll toss you a mic and you go.
And I'm going to do stand up in front of 9 people in a radio station? No, I'm not doing that.
Well, you're taking the fun out of Southside Steve TV.
Southside Steve TV.
This guy starts out, and he not only gives his brand name and then throws it out again. I'm Southside Steve with Southside Steve TV. Like, we get it.
How old is that?
Rudy, how old is that? Do you know? I think his headphones are off.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
Good communication right there. But I'm wondering if, because I interviewed Bill Burr one time, and he was not like that, but he wasn't much better than that. I wonder if that just teed him up to just go after people whenever he had a chance.
Yeah, I think.
Because he just doesn't do the interviews anymore. I haven't heard him interviewed on the radio in years.
It's at least 6 years ago.
Yeah, this was a little while ago. Well, this really kind of comes off the heels of the infamous Philadelphia incident when Bill got up on stage. They booed, the Philadelphia crowd booed Dom Irrera. How do you do that? He's like one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time.
Great guy.
And they booed him, and then Bill just went out there for 10 minutes and was like, "Your city sucks. You guys, all you do is you have this false idol in Rocky. He wasn't even a real person. You got a statue of a fake guy up on your stupid city hall. You suck. Your Philly cheesesteaks, you suck. I hope you all die on the way home tonight." It really kind of pushed him over the edge.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be all that happy with him if he said that about the Twin Cities.
Isn't he the one who outed Bill Cosby in this generation too?
No, that was Hannibal Buress.
Oh,
that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, so where the hell's my cat?
She's right here. Hold
Yeah,
on.
see, you didn't let me see her at all. There's my buddy.
Hi, London.
London, how you doing, pally?
She was in my lap most of it. She just started moving.
I love that cat.
She's so
London.
sweet.
London. Stop flexing your muscles, London. I saw that. She's giving us
She
a
likes
flex.
to just hold her paws out.
She does like to hold her
Sloppy.
paws out. All right, young lady, we'll have a magnificent day. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, and we will hold my Brit story for tomorrow.
I love it.
First thing.
That works. It was a great segment. That's all I know.
Bye, Kristyn.
Thank you, my dear.
Bye.
We take a break. Be right back. Little Chris Egert coming up next. Thank you to North American Banking Company for being such a great partner of the Tom Barnard Morning Show. I've been banking there for years, and I highly recommend you do the same. North American Banking Company is locally owned and operated, which means loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities, not shipped out of state. This helps business owners solve problems, expand their business with confidence. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. When North American Banking Company first opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. Well, a lot has changed since 1998. This commitment to being a true community bank of the Twin Cities has not. There's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. You know that, right? If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to check out my bank, North American Banking Company. I say my, I don't, because I put my dough there. I say my $3 savings. Be sure to check out North American Banking Company. Find them online at nabanco.com, nabanco.com, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health for the treatment of ED. This is one of those topics that can get uncomfortable to talk about, but the truth is, if new technology can improve your life by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction, why wouldn't we want to talk about it? Look, I've been going there I think I'm on my 6th treatment this week. Things go very well. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal at all. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. If, like so many of my listeners, you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and wipe all the spontaneity out, reach to the Twin Cities Premier Health like I did and right now receive this special offer. A free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800, 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office. Or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard sent you. We are back. A little weather action, partly to mostly sunny today with an isolated PM thunderstorm possible, a high of 90. It's going to be muggy, too. An early isolated thunderstorm possible tonight, otherwise warm and muggy. Yeah, there's your muggy. A low of 70. Then tomorrow, hot and humid, mostly sunny with a high of 92. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday looking good, though. Partial sunshine, not as humid, with a high of 85 on Friday, 83 on Saturday, and 78 for the high. Maybe a passing shower on Saturday and Sunday. We'll see. That might not happen at all, though. So currently, it is sunny and 74 degrees. Sunny and 74 now, 90 and pretty muggy later on today. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. What do you think of that? And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely and talented Chris Egert.
Thank you.
Lovely and talented, I say.
I get that a lot, Tom.
I know, it's nonstop.
Right.
So it's compliment after compliment.
I wish I had a cat here to really impress you guys.
Ah.
I would actually. If we had a studio cat at Hubbard, that would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I would.
London.
I'm surprised you're down with this plan.
Well, I like cats.
What?
Yeah.
What a twist.
Why?
I don't think I would have saw that coming. If
Really?
if I was a betting woman and you were to say $1,000 is Chris like cats, I'd say no.
Oh my God, we have, well, not cats. We have one cat, but I've got 2 dogs. And at one point, it was like 1 cat, 2 dogs, 1 bearded dragon, 3 hamsters, 17
There
fish.
you go.
It was the whole bit.
Having children.
Yeah, you'll be there, Brittany. You'll be there. You'll have all.
I am the child. I have been manifesting a cat for almost a year now. What's your cat's name?
Milky.
Milky.
My daughter, the cat's like probably 12 years old, 11 years old. My daughter named her after the cat on Curious George, which is actually called gnocchi, like the pasta, gnocchi. But she was so little, she didn't know what the difference was, so she named her Milky.
Where does Milky sleep at night?
Wherever Milky wants.
That's what I thought. Yep.
Yeah. You guys got a
There you
cat,
go.
Tom?
No, we don't. We just got Jude right now, and he's 11 years old. So we'll see how they go. My favorite pet story, though, we had two little dogs, Cassie and Nipsey Russell. They were Jack
Great
Russell
name.
Terriers, Cassie Russell and Nipsey Russell. And Alex, at the time, was about 11, maybe 12 years old. Mom and Dad, could I get a couple of parakeets? We're like, what? I said, can I get a couple of parakeets? He said, what do you want a couple? Well, so they wouldn't be lonely when we're not at home. They could hang out with each other. I'm like, whatever. Catherine and I went and got the bird cage, got a couple of parakeets. Lasted one day. When Nipsey Russell went in there, tipped over the cage, crushed it, and ate the birds.
Ooh.
It's like, okay.
One
That
day,
was-
huh?
One day they lasted. And I'm glad we got that out of there before Alex got home. I will tell you that. That would not have gone over very well.
Oh,
You should have tried to tape the head back on, like on.
Exactly.
pretty bird.
Oh, you know what happened, Alex? While you were at school, the birds decided to move out to their own house.
Yeah.
I tried to replace a fish once that something happened to the fish, and it was my daughter was really young, and I knew she's going to be upset. So I don't know if we were out of town or what, but or she was gone, and I like snuck out to try to get a fish and put a replacement fish in there.
Oh, yeah.
She figured it out right away.
It does happen. One more very, very quick one, because I grew up in the city. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, but in the backyard, we had built all this stuff in our backyard out in Dayton when we lived on the farm. And Catherine had this little pond with a waterfall down into another little pond. And I thought, oh, this would be cool. So I didn't talk to Catherine about it, which I should have. Went out and bought like 25 little fish to put in the pond, one on top and one on the bottom, so the little fish would be swimming around. It would be just, so I put them in there. And Catherine gets home. They were in there probably about 7-8 hours by the time that Catherine got home. And I take her on, I want to show you something. She goes, what the hell did you do that for? No fish, 4 snakes in the pond.
Oh.
The snakes ate every one of the fish.
Why are so many of your kids' childhood stories are involving snakes?
Because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. That's the problem.
Alex told me about that you put an in-ground trampoline.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? Well, you don't need a trampoline stand. Let's just put it in ground. This will be really cool. Which just sounds awesome, right? Like just the ground trampoline starts. That's awesome. And then all of a sudden she said, yeah, well, it became the perfect snake pit.
It was. Because
Plural. Many snakes. Oh.
well, you know the black netting that's on trampolines?
Yeah.
The black netting makes what's under it very hot in the sunshine. So that's why the snakes love to go in there, because it was so damn hot in that pit.
Jumping on that trampoline would be the most terrifying thing in the world. Do
Snakes
not.
everywhere. I'm a city boy, you can tell, can't you?
Yeah, well, you're trying.
What the hell? I try my best. That's exactly right. So any big news this morning we should know about, Pally?
Oh, all kinds of stuff going on, but
Any good stuff? He just laughs. No, Tom, there is nothing good going on.
Well, first of all, I guess it's good news the Mega Millions didn't. There wasn't a winner last night.
Really?
No.
Again?
So it's like 30 drawings of Mega Millions without a winner, which is crazy. It's like well over $1 billion now, which is insane. Like you could almost build US Bank Stadium with the amount of money.
Yeah, almost. You can almost get it built.
Almost.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
so
quite.
taxation in the state of Minnesota on that would be a total federal and state income tax would be about what, 45%?
Oh my God, I would get it. I would guess it would be close to that.
It would have to be, I would
It's
think.
$1.25 billion. Let me look.
Oh my God, it's $1.25 billion.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
$1.25 billion. Fourth largest in history of Mega Millions. So, yeah, you could buy U.S. Banks or something like it, or you could finish Southwest Light Rail with that money.
Yeah, Eden Prairie.
There we go. Manifesting that too. I'm doing a lot of work on my side over here. Manifesting a cat in that light rail.
We got a little more details. We talked about that state trooper shooting that happened on Interstate 94 a couple nights ago.
Yep.
They showed a lot of the video yesterday. The State Patrol put the video out there. The family was organizing last night. I think there's still, I don't know, did you guys get a chance to see the video by any chance?
I watched a little bit this morning. It's just hard to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they don't know yet, or they're not saying yet whether he was armed. I think that's a big question that's still sort of floating out there. It also sounds like it doesn't sound like his family believes it was made perfectly clear to him by the troopers who were pulling him over why they wanted him to get out of the car, or what they had stopped him for. So I think there's a lot of a question actually about that process when they actually had him pulled over. So again, I think we'll just kind of see as information trickles out on that. But that was obviously a big story again today.
I thought they said he was driving like over 100 miles an hour.
But I think the question was if he had a warrant out for him, which it sounded like he did.
Yes.
If when they said they'd pulled him over, if they needed to tell him exactly why, what warrant it was, or if he didn't know, I don't know. There's a lot of gray area on it for sure. So I think that'll sort of be playing out over the next couple weeks.
Well, I have a question for you. If he had a weapon, it'd be in the car because he's dead, right?
Yeah, but they're not. If there was one, they're not saying.
Oh, they're not saying yet.
That's what I'm. Yeah, and I'm not implying that there was or was not. It's just not known at this point. So I think that'll be a big question. So, what else did we have here? Oh, well, the marijuana sales. Obviously, it was like the first full day. We had a crew up at Red Lake in the reservation because they've actually got a legal dispensary.
Right.
I was kind of thinking there wouldn't be a lot of people there. There were a ton of people there.
Was there?
Yeah, like lined up down the block, and I don't know, maybe I'm naive. I guess I just thought because it's my understanding that what you're buying up there, although legal, was fairly overpriced.
Oh, was it really?
For what one would pay for it through one's regular routes of getting it.
Aren't they? They're doing that at the reservations here too, are they not? Eventually.
I mean, they might. I don't know. The Red Lake one already had the setup and the infrastructure there to be able to do it. And because they're on federal land, they don't have to go through the state of Minnesota's process for sort of governance on that. So I was very surprised. But I guess it was my impression if a guy was already or a gal was already using marijuana, you could probably get it cheaper from where you were normally getting it.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I was very surprised about that.
So you could get edibles and all that stuff, 5 milligrams, but you could buy a bag of 10 and have 50 milligrams of. You could been able to buy that in Minneapolis forever, many years, a couple of years anyway.
Over the last year, they did. There was a what do they call it? Delta 9 is that what it's called?
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So they changed the state law last year, so that. For sure, if people are using edibles or that kind of thing, that was already out there or it is out there.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes. I know, like I think I told you guys, I was out in Seattle when they legalized, or in Washington when they legalized, and it's a whole thing, and it's a real big boomer bust industry too.
Oh, really?
I had a friend who, how would I say it? She was into the green, and she got a job at one of these big dispensaries. And when it was like boom time for them, they were like just minting money. And it was like every other day she was posting pictures on her Facebook page. Like, look, Snoop Dogg's here. Look, it's Willie Nelson. Like all these like Seth Rogen's, all these like big, marijuana advocates. And they seem to be doing very well. But then I don't know that they sustained it. And I think I was under the impression that particular place closed. So it's a complicated business because of the way the rules are set up and how they can handle and deal with the money. So that's going to be, because while it might be legal, it's also illegal federally. So if you got money and you can't really put it in the bank, and so it's very complicated.
No, that is true. Now, we're talking about the weed itself, right? Because the other stuff,
Yeah.
I suppose the little tinctures, they don't, I don't know, do they sell the tinctures along with the edibles? Or I don't know. I've never bought it, so I don't know if they sell it.
Yeah, you can get those at like a tobacco shop. There's even gas stations that sell some of them now.
Right. But that's the tinctures as well?
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't because I've never done them. Well, I shouldn't say I've never done it, but it's not my deal.
I find tincture to be a very weird word.
Same.
Tincture is, yes.
Like it's not going to work. The item will not work if it's a tincture. It just doesn't, it seems like, yeah.
We had some friends several years ago. They're like, oh, let's go out, blah, 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 blah. We went to some restaurant. And they're like, oh, you want to get a tincture? Like, I was like, what? I'm such a rube. I was like, what?
I would say this
What'd you
again
say?
for our younger listeners: do not smoke weed. It is not good for you. Not because of the weed, because of the smoke. Don't smoke that crap. It's bad for you.
Yeah.
Get the tinctures, get the edibles, get whatever you can, but inhaling smoke is not a good idea.
Yeah, you heard it here first, kids.
Yeah, kids.
I'd also like to be clear: the tincture that our friend was getting it didn't have anything in it. It was just flavor.
Oh, really?
Like, what? Yeah, like what? Yeah, you put some drops of
lemon
elderberry tincture or something.
Yeah,
in here. I was like, what?
My nanny mom used to have a bunch of those and would be like, oh, do you want a little lemon in your water? I'm like, no, I don't. Don't want that little eyedropper.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to look like I'm getting like purposely roofied right now.
Hey guys, guess who's?
Oh my God! Look who's back! Finally, he's trying to block you out.
There you go.
He's trying to block you out. Where have you been, sister? I know where you've been, but I'm asking where you've been anyway.
Yes, I've been having a baby, and so I had a little baby Brady. He was born on May 10th.
Oh, I thought his full name was Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Okay, Ken Barlow was the biggest Tom Brady fan, and I was joking. I'm like, and he had a Brady mug that I kept walking by every day before I had Brady. I'm like, that's his name. No one knows it, but yeah,
That's wonderful.
He's our little peanut. Yeah.
Isn't it the greatest? I will tell you the first time. This is your first baby?
Yes, my first.
Okay, because I remember because Andy was born first, wasn't the fact that it was a boy or a girl, whatever. But that first time you hold your babies in your arms, it's just a different world, isn't it?
Yes. I want 10 more. Like, can I have this feeling?
Wow, you're a better person than me.
No, we're just gonna let's take it one at a time.
We should talk off camera.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hannah, I tell you what. At this point, let's see. You're what, 2 months, 3 months out here?
Yeah, 3 months.
That is impressive that you want 10 more. I have a 1-year-old. And at that point, I was like, no. But congratulations. I've seen it. Brady is so cute. It's just amazing.
Oh, it is the best. It is true. There are hard moments for sure, but it's just so rewarding too. He's so sweet. So yeah, any parenting advice, I've been leaning on Chris too, and he was like, sleep
great
when
idea.
you can.
No.
And he was right. Yeah, it's like exhaustion is a whole new level.
Yeah, I would say is I wish I would have trained my husband better to just clean things constantly, because that's like you're the number one person to feed the baby and all that stuff.
Sure.
All you need them to do constantly is just wash things, clean things. Yeah, like I don't need you to pretend to hold the kid. I'm fine. Just do the dirty work.
It's only one more little person, but like laundry and dishes
Oh
are
my-
like times 20 now. I'm like, it's so crazy.
It's insane. That's congratulations. You look like $1 million, and
You do, yeah. You do.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
killing it in
Thank
the
you
game.
so much.
I'm
Thank
telling you, though, do not follow Uncle Tom's lead on this deal, because our first baby, I went off. I know this is hard to believe, but I went off the deep end.
Shocking.
I was like, we're going to have to get 10-foot fencing around the house, then put a gun turret on top of the house.
We need a moat and
We
alligators.
need a moat around. Honest to God, I got very protective of that little baby. I'll tell you that. It's like, whoa.
Oh my goodness. Yes,
It's the greatest thing that can ever happen. I know some people don't give a rat's ass about that, but I'm one of those, man. When you hold your own baby, that's nothing like it.
Yes. Oh, there's no other feeling in the world. Oh, thank you guys. Well, I'll stop by again soon. I just had to get some water. but
Yeah,
I'll be
come by
back.
soon.
Thank you.
She's gonna miss her
you,
traffic
Hannah.
hit. Producers are yelling upstairs right now. Where's Hannah?
No, we love her. We get her longer.
What
Oh,
a sweetheart.
very cool.
Great. It was nice to have her back. Very nice.
It is so nice to hear people talking about, because that's one thing I will tell you in the last few generations that changed. a few generations ago, kids were not treated very well. There's no question about that. And I think as we go along, there's a better and more clear understanding of, look, man, you are the luckiest sumbitch on earth. You have a healthy baby, man. That's huge, right?
Yeah, God, be nice to her, Chris, because I'll tell you what, the first time I came back I know you will be, but like, just be extra nice, because when the first week I left my baby, I could have cried on a dime.
Oh, God, yes.
Because you just thought about them constantly. Oh.
My sister Vicky, though, picks on me all the time because I was, like I said, when I was born, I was 23 inches long and weighed 11 pounds, right? I was a very large baby. Natural childbirth, too, by the way, which is interesting. But my sister always used to make fun of me. She said, my God, when you were born, it was the weirdest thing because it was so nice and quiet. And all of a sudden, this gigantic baby shows up, and you cried like this. Wow! It's like, oh, really? So like a dragon? Was a dragon cry? Is that what we're talking about?
You had the pipes as a baby. I love it.
Why, that's a big baby. Although I had a friend, Mark Merrows, when he was born, he was like 13 pounds, 4 ounces.
Holy crap.
That's a big baby. The biggest baby ever born, you know how much it weighed? You guys know this, don't you?
We looked it up, but
We looked it up.
The stats make me sad because they're always like living or not. I'm like, I can't. I'm done. Yeah.
Mostly they live about, a couple of days.
I don't know, but yeah, that's
28 pounds.
Yeah, which that baby, I think that baby had passed away. But there was one that was a little less than that, like 25 or something that lived. Yeah.
Jesus.
Holy crap.
Gonna eat you out of house at home, for Christ's sake.
Jeez Louise.
That was great to see her again. Tell her that. Honest to God, she's terrific. I've never even met her in person.
I told her this morning when we were in the studio, I'm like, oh, you're going to have to try to swing by if you can. She's like, oh, I will.
I just want to like bring her a bunch of things that she already has. Like, does she need to swing? I just want to like drop a bunch of things off at the station.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
I got about 17,000 plastic bins full of X, Y, and Z.
I know. Okay.
Here you go.
Fine. I'll think of something for an older kiddo.
See, like today, I'm all excited because I do this. I do the family podcast, and I got a thing that I have to do at noon. And this afternoon, we're taking the little kids to the pool and then have dinner.
Oh, fun.
I cannot wait to watch them swimming around. They love going in a swimming pool. Just love it. Isn't that great?
We used to swim all the time with the kids. Oh, my gosh.
It's the best.
I can't talk about this stuff. I'm taking a kid to college on Saturday.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Yeah. And my daughter started driving last week. Like, I'm a freaking mess, man.
Yeah, but your son's going right down the street, isn't he?
Doesn't matter. Still leaving the house.
It doesn't matter.
Wait a minute.
It changes everything. You're so right.
Where's he going? Minnesota School of Business?
He's going to St. Thomas School of Business.
Oh, is he? That's where Andy went until they kicked him out. But anyway, moving forward.
Hannah's like talking about her little baby, and I'm like, oh.
I know. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Over there, because Alex went to St. Kate's and Andy for a year went to St. Thomas. And one thing about that area over there, there's some good places to eat. Sandwich shops over in that area.
Oh,
Forget about it. What's the one again? Meat is murder. Tasty murder.
Tasty murder. Yeah.
What is the name of that place again?
I forget.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Cecil's is
the
right
Nook.
there too. Oh, the Nook is
called
right
the Nook,
there.
There's one more thing Chris has to pay for: kids sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
Great, thanks, bud.
Oh yeah.
It'll be perfect, Chris. You'll be done with work and be able to go have like a brunch kind of lunch with him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll always be willing. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't want to talk about it.
Fine.
Meat is murder.
I'll bring Go-Go over, and then you can remember that it's actually hell right now.
That is tough, though. I mean, like I said, that day when we took them, because they started school the same day, we were at the time living in Golden Valley, so we drove them over and, moved them in and all the rest of it, and I was pretty weepy on the way home, and Catherine said, "What is the problem?" I said, "The kids moving off to college." She goes, "They're 6 miles away, for Christ's sake." I said, I know.
I mean, Rudy's right in that regard. I mean, geographically knowing they're close, that feels a little bit.
Yep.
But yep.
Well, so you look like you're in a really good mood about that.
Well,
it'll be great. It'll be fun. Oh, you got to go, man. You got to get going here. You do.
I do got to go. Well, good to see you guys.
All right, Chris. Hell of a report today, man.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Chris Egert, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. We'll take a break. Be right back. Very special guest coming up next. UFOs, Brittany. UFOs.
Yes.
This Tommy B for our buddies at Niemeyer Trailer Sales. They've been a part of Minnesota since 1965. They are a family. If you want to take your passion on the road and make memories camping wherever you want, no motors but pulled trailer RVs, go to Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Father Jim Sr. started the business, and the brother and sister team, Tim and Lisa, handle Albertville with Jim Jr. at the helm in Elko New Market. They're the best name in non-motorized RVs with great deals on the best brands like Rockwood and Northwood. Niemeyer Trailer Sales truly outservices their competition with personable employees, often sons and daughters of this third-generation family-owned business. They simply do what they say they will do every time because their name is on the building. That's why. And with a huge selection of RV services pros, you will leave satisfied no matter what you are looking for. Niemeyer takes care of every memory maker, customers that come in. Their Albertville or Elko New Market location. Head to NIEMEYERS.com. Put your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say, we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Schatzko with mnfatloss.com, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, go online to mnfatloss.com.
If you're interested in losing weight, I highly recommend the MN Fat Loss Program. I started the program earlier this year. I've lost 28 pounds. Honestly, it's been easy. I don't have to exercise. I eat delicious real food, and I'm not hungry. I recommend the program to anyone wanting to lose weight.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 763-312-7600 or schedule online at mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com.
Dr. Adam Schatzko, D.C. Results may vary.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Just checked. The Minnesota Twins did end up. I had to go to bed a little earlier last night, so I stopped watching the game. In the 7th inning, Twins were up. Twins ended up winning the game. St. Louis did score a run in the bottom of the 9th, tried to get it close, but the Twins ended up winning 3-2 last night to beat the Cardinals. Cardinals are a terrible baseball team. We'll talk about that more, of course, with SKOR North's Judd Zuldgad. Tevin Pittman will be in studio, all the rest of us. But, yeah, it's nice to see. It's just one of those years you're going to have to go game by game because this team is not very good.
What time did the game start at?
6:45.
And it still was going that long?
No, I stopped watching after the seventh or eighth inning. I think going into the 8th inning because I wanted to just hang out with Catherine for an hour or so before I went to bed.
Kind of do like a bedtime routine-esque.
Kind of, yeah, something like that. But it's just, it's really hard for me to do that. I watch the team, and I love the Twins, but it's so painful because I know they're just not going to end up going anywhere because they're just. I thought there were a lot when this season started. I thought they were pretty damn good. I really did.
Yeah, remember when we had their worst season ever? They had like a record amount of games they lost. Mm-hmm. And then the next year they came back and we thought for 2 seconds they were going to go somewhere with it. Yep. And that was an exciting year, even for me. I'm not like, but I like watching the Twins in person. I really like going to the games. It just feels like that excitement, man, we haven't had that in so long.
We have not. I mean, your Minnesota Vikings haven't been to a Super Bowl since 1977.
Oh, back then when I was super not alive?
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
1991 for your Twins.
I'll have to trust you on all that because I wasn't super in the know back then.
Well, you were born in 1991. You were 2 years old.
I was 86, so I was Andy's
5-year-old.
age.
You were 5 then.
5-year-olds had my fingers on the pulse of the twins.
Oh, that baseball pulse, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt. Yeah, no question.
Or that lack thereof in that case.
Yeah, there's not a lot of pulse to that team. No
No.
question about it. But, you know, I still love watching them. I know they're not going anywhere. You never know. Things can get weird. Or I don't know what the hell to tell you.
Yeah.
But it all works out in the end, I guess.
Have you guys taken Sage to a game? I know Fawn's
I don't
been.
think. No, they have not yet.
Okay.
No, maybe Sage has. I think Sage has been. Yeah, I think he has now. Ron's ready to go?
Ron is ready to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, UFO expert Ron James. Ron, I missed you the whole 4 days since I talked to you last.
That's been awesome. I missed you too.
Oh, Ron, you're the best. UFO expert Ron James. I know we only got about 8 minutes with you, so I got to get to that. James is a filmmaker, on-camera personality, writer, editor, researcher, content creator, and entrepreneur, trying to just make us all look bad. That's all you're doing, Ron. His new documentary, Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations, narrated by Matthew Modine, has won 17 Film Festival Awards. And I will shut up, Ron, because I know we only have about 7 or 8 minutes with you because you're a popular interview. But tell the people all about a great interview you did with the family on the Family Podcast last week. That was terrific. Thank you.
Yeah, the UFO topic is coming to the mainstream more and more, and people like David Grush that have just testified in front of members of Congress telling a story about how we have actually materials recovered, craft recovered, possible biologics. I'm here to tell you that I've been working on this for a very long time, and I'm the media relations director for the Mutual UFO Network, and it is all true.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be. Ron, are we so afraid to talk about this? Because obviously if they're here, they're much further developed than we are. We couldn't compete, I believe, on any level with them. Is that the problem here?
Well, that might be part of the problem, is that we are powerless against whatever their technology is. But,
Right.
the fact of the matter is, so far, so good. We're still here. They haven't annihilated us or taken us over. I think that the bigger problem that we're dealing with is not so much acknowledging that they exist, but the individual human power centers have incorporated this knowledge and, in some cases, this technology to maintain power and to feed greed. And so, for instance, if there was a power source where you could just put something in your garage and it would power your house, that would change the entire paradigm on planet Earth. And the people in power who have the ability to suppress this would have every reason to do so. So that's just one example of why this has been a secret and why, the powers that be are interested in maintaining the status quo instead of telling humanity the truth.
Do you think part of that, and Ron, you and I talked about this before, I think, was Orson Welles and what he did with War of the Worlds, that so many people were terrified because they were convinced that he was not lying, that they actually were invading. As you just pointed out, Ron, we couldn't stand toe-to-toe with them on any front. So, I mean, that was a long, long time ago. Do people, I suppose they do retain that fear of anything like that. Most people a little uncomfortable with this, I assume?
Well, you hit the nail right on the head in that it's the context of this information that really would make the difference in how people react.
Right.
There's a lot of people that say, oh, well, we're ready for the truth. But what is the truth? If it's an Orson Welles kind of truth where, these beings are here and they're dangerous and it's only a matter of time till our demise, well, that's going to create a whole different reaction than, hey, we're not alone in the universe. There's other beings even in our space, even interacting with us, but they're not a threat. It's two different contexts. And so, yes, the Robertson panel was convened to look at this topic because, believe it or not, this whole UFO thing becoming very big in the mainstream, this is not the first time it's happened. It's happened a couple of times through history, and it's bubbled up into a big thing that was national news, tons of books, tons of TV shows, and then all of a sudden it kind of gets stomped back down. But the whole idea that we're going to panic or that we're not ready, the times are changing, and humanity deserves this knowledge. I might dare say it needs it at this point.
Ron, is it true that we're talking to Ron James, UFO expert, about his new documentary, Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations? From what I understand, and we were never told about this, I guess, or whatever, but they have been visiting us for thousands of years, this planet, I mean by us. They've been visiting this planet for thousands of years, have they not?
It appears that is the case. There's plenty of evidence for some sort of non-human intelligence having a fingerprint on the history of humanity. There is a case for that, absolutely.
So I'm hoping that I'm not part alien. That would, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that, Ron. I got to be. They didn't leave any kids behind, did they?
Well, there's a lot of people that think that maybe they did.
Yeah.
That maybe we are some sort of genetically engineered species in and of ourselves. There's a big gap in the evolutionary path. We have Neanderthals, we have all these different types of pre-humans, and then all of a sudden we have Homo sapien sapien, and for some reason they haven't really been able to find the links and the connections. And there's stories that were pulled from the most ancient writings of humanity that tell stories of an extraterrestrial species that came here and interacted with humanity and actually helped to refine our DNA. So the mystery deepens. But the biggest thing is, are we alone in the universe? Absolutely not. Is there a non-human intelligence interacting with humanity, or at least being in our same sphere? It appears that is true. It's an amazing day for humanity.
Ron, how long have you been studying this topic?
I was hired. I own a production company. I do music videos and all kinds of stuff. Right. I was hired back in 2008 to videotape a UFO conference. And backstage, I got to know a lot of the people, and I realized these were not people with tinfoil hats. They weren't people with extreme views that were crazy.
Right.
They were people who were dedicated to getting to a truth, and that we're dealing with the biggest deception ever put on humanity. And when I realized that was actually the case, that's when I got hooked.
It is so amazing. You do such a great job. Again, Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations, narrated by Matthew Modine. Good choice there. Matthew Modine's a hell of a narrator.
Matthew Modine was a godsend to this project, and he's been so supportive of it. When the film was done, he was like, my gosh, I love what you've done, and I believe in it. And he's been, until the actors strike, he's been just completely an ally and a friend.
That's wonderful to hear. Come back more often, Ron. I like I said, I had a great time with the family talking to you last week. Another great time today. But come back more often, would you please, Mr. James?
Anytime there's something that develops on the mainstream news and you guys want to bring me in, chances are I'm on top of it, or I might have even been partially responsible for it.
I understand. UFO expert Ron James, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye. Very, very nice guy. Very smart guy.
Does that make you at all nervous about, like...
what, having Tevin in the room? Yes.
Well, yeah, having
Makes
Tevin.
me very nervous.
I immediately clutched for my purse.
Yeah, absolutely. Typical.
But does that make you nervous thinking about that? Because sometimes I get this, like, I want to avoid talking about alien stuff because I'm like, there's a nervousness about it.
Oh, I understand that, because they literally could wipe us out immediately.
Man, I know, I don't ever want to call anybody who's like an expert like that. I don't want to say that they're lying.
Yeah.
I know that he believes exactly everything he says, but I have such a hard time believing any of this until you can see it with your own two eyes. That's when I go, because, there was that movie called Signs, and when that alien steps out into the alleyway, and you can see that the fear that people had, I'm like, okay, that's what I need to be able to make me go, you know what, there are people that are coming from other planets into our solar system. I have such a hard time. I love it. I'm fascinated by it, but man, I'm so skeptical of it.
I guess there is proof they've been coming for thousands of years. I've never seen it, obviously, but I've heard about that for a long time. But then again, we have proof. Just now, by coincidence, we have both Tevin and Judd. You want to talk about aliens? My God. You know what I mean?
That's probably more of me. Tevin's a good-looking guy. He's young.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more of the alien-esque type of guy.
You're alien-esque?
I'm alien-esque, yeah.
I love that.
Judd, I'm
alien-esque.
I haven't been able to tell you this, but I owe you a big old thank you. you caused me to avoid a fight with my husband because when I was mentioning what I was going to use as my excuse that I stole his keys last week.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of balked at it, saying that's not a good route. And I thought about you on the way home, and I was like, what if I just came home and said, I really messed up, I'm sorry. And it worked.
Oh, God.
Beautiful. Yeah. See?
You suckered him.
Twins advice and relationship advice from Judd. He
Judd
does it all.
Does it all.
One-stop alien shopping right here.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen. So I did watch the game last night, Judd. I know that the Twins, I don't believe they have any chance of going anywhere, but they're still in first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I do love them. I do love my Twins, but my God, it just some of the defense now. We got so lucky that guy missed stepping on first base.
Oh
yes. God, that was lucky.
Yeah, we saw last night. I think there were 3 different examples though of why you can't just move a guy to like a different position in midstream.
Gee, let me guess who you're talking about.
Oh, well, that throw by Polanco, was the whole created that one, and
horrible.
Then there was the ball that kicked off his glove, and it was a rocket, but it's third base. It's called the hot corner for a reason. That's why I've always been. I guess the outfield, I'm a little bit more open to it, but like infield positions, like that guy can play first base. It's the simplest position. I don't think it's nearly as simple as people think it is to just change spots.
Oh, especially third. I think you're right. Especially third base. The hot corner, you got to be good. Who the hell was the player at Baltimore that invented the cone? Remember he invented the cone method at third base? It was
it Brooks Robinson?
Yeah, it was Brooks Robinson, absolutely.
Oh, he was fantastic.
He was fantastic, but he had in his mind that there was literally a cone in front of him. I mean, it was terrific watching him play, no doubt about it. So we did win the game last night. I should point out they won it 3-2. They gave up a run in the bottom of the ninth, but it wasn't enough. They still won the game 3-2. And I still watch the Twins. I'm an idiot. What are you laughing about? That's an agreement laugh. I can hear it. You are an idiot, Tom.
Brittany's lips just sort of pursed and went up. That's never
never.
That's never a good thing.
God, I
you
need
were
more
actually
Botox.
thinking it, and you couldn't contain your facial expression.
Tom's a moron.
Idiot. That's scratching the surface.
Shock and awe. Huh?
So, in any case, I still have my Twins. My Twins are still in first place. Who the hell knows? It's so weird, I suppose. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. They're not good enough to go anywhere. Guys like Polanco are one of the reasons. He's just not good enough to play defense. He can't play defense anywhere. Can he?
Well, yeah, and their problem too is so he's playing third base because Julian, who's got a really good bat, especially against right-handed pitching, is playing second base.
Right.
But he's a liability. So the problem is you've now got 2/4 of your infield out of position to try and keep their bats in the lineup because you insist on playing Buxton, who actually is starting to hit at DH. So the one thing I'm glad about is they did not make any stupid trades to try and bolster this team. They didn't trade prospects. I still would have considered trading Sonny Gray because he's in the last year of his contract. Mm-hmm. But the thing that concerned me the most was they were actually going to trade prospects. And they're, for the most part, their trade deadline deals have been just horrendous. So I'd rather they just stand pat. They'll probably win this damn thing, but I mean, it's still an embarrassment. Nonetheless, I was very happy they didn't trade a top prospect and try and justify this, what is a charade, because this division, I mean, Cleveland, I find it hilarious that Cleveland's just continued to bail. Cleveland traded guys. They're like,
they did.
We're a game back. Who cares? We don't want this thing. You take it.
Yeah. No, you brought that up yesterday, and you're 100% right. They don't want it. It's weird. It's just
I don't
a weird
blame
deal. No, I agree. You got your first first NFL game tomorrow night, correct?
Yeah, and it's the Hall of Fame game, which, as we talked about yesterday, is useless except for the fact that former Viking third-round pick Kellen Mond, who's still with Cleveland, remarkably, I don't know how he's still in the league, Kellen Mond is going to start at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Really?
Nobody plays in this game, Tom. It's just an extra. So nobody will play. But Kellen Mond, who
who was cut out of training camp a year ago after O'Connell got an extended look for the first time, and I'm sure said, this guy's terrible. He's going to start for Cleveland.
So what about your buddy over there at the New York Jets now? He's going to start, isn't he? Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not even sure he'll make the trip.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, he might not see Canton, Ohio.
You're probably right about that. He's a piece of work, man. I got a friend that, I don't know if they're great friends, but they are friends, and he said that Aaron Rodgers is one of the weirdest people he has ever met. Likes him a lot, but he says he's just very weird.
It's too bad, too, because I actually had a good friend of mine who covers the Packers and has for years and years now, and he got to know Aaron when he was drafted, right? And the first few years, probably an extended time, he might have been weird, but he was a really nice guy, seemed ordinary, like you didn't see this. And then at some point in time, he flipped a switch and went into, for lack of a better term, his Sgt. Pepper's period and became this really odd man.
He did.
Like he grew, like he literally he often looks like he belongs on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's as a Beatle.
Well, yeah,
like, think about the hair.
It's because he has no problems. He has a ton of money and no problems. And that's what you do when you have nothing going on in your life, is that you sit at home and you're like, how do I create turmoil? Because your brain is a problem solver, and it has to have problems to solve. So when you have no problems, you create problems like, listen, I've been, what did he call it? It wasn't vaccinated. What was the term that he used?
Immunized.
I've been immunized.
Immunized. That was it.
Yeah, that's why you say those things, because he knows it's going to get some blowback, and he needs to have problems because everything else in his life is just so taken care of.
That's a good point. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. When you don't have any pressure on you other than on a football field, it's pretty good life. You got to make shit up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's why we brought Brittany over, because she does nothing but cause problems, and it gives me a purpose.
You're so welcome.
You're just welcome, Tom.
Your family thanks me every day.
Yelling at people at Trader Joe's about masks.
Yeah.
I saw it. I've
That's
seen that
me.
video.
You know me, just getting in everyone's business, not just trying to like get in and out, running.
Karen Arneson over there.
It's true.
I just honored you know my last name.
Karen. I like it. Let's go with Karen.
Karen Arneson.
Why did they choose Karen for that, by the way? Oh, you're such a Karen. Why Karen?
It fits.
Because it's like the white, no offense to any Karens out there, but it's like the whitest sounding name that you can think of. It's like Shaniqua for black people.
Or Tevin for black dudes.
Tevin is not.
Yeah, you sound like you should have some loafers on a boat somewhere.
Right? I wish. Don't tell me with a good time.
I'm using that today, by the way. The first woman I see out in public today, I'm going to go, you're such a Shaniqua.
I don't think you should.
No.
Why not?
Depends on what neighborhood you're in, if you should use that or
I
not.
shouldn't go back to the old homestead?
No, I wouldn't recommend
Yeah,
that.
I could get you a little bit of trouble right there.
I like the name Shaniqua, though. It's a good name.
I think that was the name of the Martin Show.
The Martin Show, yeah.
The sister that he had.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's all true, ladies and gentlemen. So what else is happening in sports, fellas?
The Vikings actually have a night scrimmage, which, of course, is a big deal. They've got a night scrimmage tomorrow night. And, again, like we talked about, I think, yesterday, they don't play a game until, I think it's a week from Saturday or so.
A week from Saturday, yep.
But, yeah, thank God they've started, because, like, the distractions now can start from the Twins. So the maddening night in, night out, which team is going to show up, are they going to score some runs, can at least be put on hold a bit. But that's about it, because we're still away from training camp for the Wolves and Wild. And beyond that, locally, it's pretty slow. It's pretty slow, which is why the Twins had a chance to grab the imagination of the sports fan. They had their opportunity, and they completely peed down their pants late for the most part.
Let me ask you a question. What's with the sugar tit helmets the Vikings wear now at practice? They look like it's clouds on their head.
It's not just the Vikings. It's
Candy
every.
ass.
Whoa, baby Vikings.
My helmet on. It's like, Jesus.
It really doesn't do. I feel like it's more for show than anything else. Like, because it's supposed to be like protect against head injuries, and I get that. Like, if there are collisions, but there's not enough contact where in today's practices where like it makes that big a difference. I think it's more so, look at we care about our players, so we put these little bonnets on them.
See, I would correct my neck rather than my head. I'd much rather wear a collar around my neck instead of some puffy ass helmet.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, those helmets.
the old school.
Those
I wanna
helmets.
see them.
They make Don Beebe look like Scott Studwell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's true.
It looks like a mushroom, right?
It looks like a mushroom.
That's the closest I can come to describing it. It looks like they have installed mushrooms on top of the standardized helmet.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Oh,
We're
they're
very
kind of cute.
Oh,
Here we go.
God.
He looks like
Here we go.
he
That's
looks like
very manly.
Toad from Mario.
Yeah.
He's adorable.
Toad?
Yeah, you know, like the Toad guy who's always like helping Mario out.
I've never played Mario.
Yes, you have. I was listening to the family podcast, and you actually have with
Have I?
Andy. Andy's
Yes.
one of Andy's
Oh,
first
that's
memories.
right. That's what he said. That's right.
I know too much about your life. I need a break.
Yeah, there's a clip on Instagram of it today.
Yeah,
Oh, is
I'm
it
pretty sure I
really?
just saw it yesterday. You talk about like breaking blocks or something.
Because I didn't. What?
Yeah.
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 Breaking
We all know
blocks.
way too much about you.
I guess, because I don't even remember doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it back in the Glug Glug days? Or was that...
Apparently.
Rebecca wants.
Let's play this game together.
Andy, get over here.
Let's play Marika. What is that?
Marie.
No, it's Mario, Dad. It's Mario.
Our
whatever.
listener Rebecca wants us to know that the neighbor's name was Shanae, not Shaniqua.
I love
Sorry.
Shanae.
Thank you,
I
Rebecca,
remember
for
Shanae.
clearing that up.
I love Shanae. That's a great name.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Like, oh God, we got to take a quick break here, do we not? Got to, support all this talent we got on the show today, don't you think?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
You're just gonna sit there and just take.
I was just going to take the compliment as I was considering the talent.
Tom. I'd like you to
Yeah,
know.
it sounds pretty good, huh?
All right, we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Many of you have taken my recommendation to give mnfatloss.com a try. I'm hearing from so many people how this program has worked for them when nothing else would. The mnfatloss.com program really has discovered the secret to weight loss. Just like the program says, I lost about a pound of fat every day. I did the first 60 days in the maintenance program, and now I went back to the weight loss program to get to my ultimate goals, about 225, 220, something like that. And honestly, it's just not that hard at all. And I mean not hard at all. I eat real meat, vegetables, and fruits. I'm not hungry or feeling deprived. They really have figured out the secret to fat loss. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks like I did, that's about a pound of fat every day, by the way. No exercise required. To schedule a free consultation, just go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com. I got to read what it actually says here.
Okay, give it to us.
Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at MNFat that Tom Barnard sent you.
That seems offensive.
You massacred the name of the client. I just love when people do stuff like that. It's the client, for Christ's sake.
For Christ's sake.
Okay. Anyway, be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss that Tom Barnard sent you.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at hubbardinteractive.com.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase "go fly a kite" to an extreme, and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind, with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, living on a prayer. It's like, spending your whole life in radio. What a waste of time. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm glad I went this industry route.
It's a lot better than working, though, don't you think?
Oh, that's why I did it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot better than having a job.
Look at my hands. They're like baby soft.
Pristine. Look at that. What?
I have no comment. The radio industry is great. I would work in this industry forever.
You've been a stiff your whole life.
How
old were you when I met you?
I don't know, like 22? Something like that.
21, 22.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Lastman, because I was at the House of Comedy bringing comedians in. I would sit out in the hallway, get accosted by everybody that walked by, and then one day...
What do you mean?
One day,
wait, back it up. Who's accosting you?
I mean, everybody. Like, people they're very friendly. Very friendly over there.
Oh, friendly.
Like, hey, can I get you anything?
Yeah.
Like, random, like, whatever. Brittany saved me a couple times, sat in her studio. And then one day, Lastman came out and was like, hey, Tom's talking shit about you in there. You got to get on the radio and defend yourself. And then it's been all downhill ever since.
All those years.
Yeah. It was so funny. You'd sit in that open area, and just so many people walk by, and it'd be like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And I was like, if you want to come sit quietly in my studio, you can. And so he'd literally just sit there on his phone, and I would just sit there, answering calls for the morning show. It was just sit quietly so you didn't have to be in an area that everyone was going to walk by.
I don't remember talking shit about you, though. What's he talking about?
Yeah, I mean, he must have been talking about the other show down the hall or something.
Yes, that must have been it. God, so I've known you almost 15 years.
No, I'm not that old.
I don't think so.
9 years.
Tevin, you're getting old right
No,
there,
he's just aged me like 10 years. No, like 9 years, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I suppose it would be 9.
Yep.
My God.
Yeah. And like one of the first days that I met you, were like, I think I can pick you up. And then you just bear hugged me and picked me up off. I felt like a child.
I felt like a child.
I was like, I am way too big to be getting picked up.
How
like
tall
this.
are you?
6'4".
6'4", and then what size shirt do you wear?
Extra large.
I mean, because you're a big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a
like
small.
220.
You don't wear an extra large.
I'm big.
Show me your tag right now.
He's got some shoulders
Sorry,
on
is
him.
this like
Look at
a
it.
personal thing.
I'm
right
sorry.
there.
Shoulders.
Was that
Show
like
me your
Lizzo's
tag,
accusations-esque, the way I just... I would like to apologize.
Don't
you do not have
fat
to
shame
take
me.
your clothes off.
He's like, give me your shirt. Hand
I don't
it
believe
over.
you're an XL. I just want to go on record.
Okay.
God,
But-
That's fine.
What movie is that when the guy says to another guy in a bar, he goes, size shirt do you wear? And the guy goes, extra large. He goes, what's your pant size? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, size of your waist. This guy looked like he was about 3 1/4. Oh, 32. Yeah, okay.
My husband just bought a 32 size pants. And I was like, how? And then he put them on. Sure enough.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, he doesn't weigh 350. There's no doubt about that.
That's wild.
It is amazing.
I think that fitted clothes for guys are the most overrated thing.
I
will
agree.
always go up a size. Always.
Yeah. You got to move around. Oh, this shirt's way too big for me, actually. I mean,
Yeah, but it's comfortable. I can
It's
tell
very
you're comfortable.
comfortable. Yep.
That's far more important than like if it fits good for for the YouTube. What's important here
because that's what my husband's doing it for the YouTube.
For the YouTube, he's doing it.
Yeah, obviously.
I love that.
You do look nicer when your things are fitted nicely. I will
Yeah,
say
I know.
that. But I agree. I always do oversized stuff. But I also think it's annoying. Men get not only size, but length of pants. And women, it's just like small, medium, large, make it work.
Oh, Catherine has a real hard time with it because she has such long legs.
I'm sure she does. Her and I are similar
does.
height. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yep.
terrible. So there's my grievances.
She was trying some pants on yesterday. And, she's got that very thin waist as well. She tries one on, and I did not know this, by the way. Are we kicking the bell bottoms again?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, my God. Women are wearing bell bottoms again.
Yeah. But we call them
You're
flare.
kidding me. He's in shock.
Judd's in a state of shock. I thought his computer
no.
froze.
Let's not go down this path because we don't need that.
Why? They're cute.
Yeah, all of like the bell bottoms, baggy, like sweatpant clothes type of thing is all making a comeback. It's like the
adorable.
80s, 90s all over again.
They call it like either bootleg or wide leg or straight leg, but they don't call them bell bottoms, but they should.
It's still bell bottoms.
I like that.
That's a Navy deal, isn't it? The one that invented in the Navy for some reason.
That's such a Tom Bernard fact. I have no idea.
Well, they did. They made bell bottoms on purpose, and I
Mhm.
think it was for the Navy because they would not trip up over ropes and all that bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
I guess I don't know. I don't know why they did it. Who knows?
We don't need the 70s back. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Why?
We don't need that. We don't need shag carpeting. We don't need bell bottoms. We don't need big collars. The 70s should stay right where they were.
Shag carpeting is the most hideous carpeting I've ever seen.
Yeah, and especially when these meatballs put shag carpeting in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, good call.
That's not a thing.
Yes, it is.
What?
Yeah, it absolutely
Oh.
1000% is, my man. It's awful. Yeah.
It is.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's terrible. And then remember when people would do like the carpet toilet seat
Yeah.
covers?
Yes.
My grandma had one of those.
Yeah. Like, why do you need that area to be comfy?
No. Can I tell a quick story about the fluffy toilet seat cover?
Yes, please.
He's no longer with us, so I can reveal it to the world. My father-in-law, many, many years ago, back when he used to go out and have a good time, came home and he was pretty lit up, and he didn't quite get the toilet. Again, it had the shag cover on the toilet cover. Didn't quite get her up, so he kind of sang his lunch onto the top of that. So he couldn't leave it there, obviously.
Obviously.
He dumped most of it in the toilet, but it still needed to be. So he threw it down the clothes chute.
No.
Problem is, it didn't make it to the clothes chute. It landed on the furnace. And the whole house smelled like puke for about a week.
Gross.
I don't think you ever get that out of there. You baked throw up into your house at that
He
point.
personally told me the house smelled like his puke for like a week.
That's never coming out.
No, and was
That's
he like
terrible.
Did he have family, like married kids, anything like that?
Not at that time. I don't
Okay,
think
so
they
I
were
was saying,
married
that's a
yet.
tough. Your wife's not going to let you live that down every day. Your house
God.
is smelling like puke. No.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Can you imagine the odor of that?
That's got to be just thrown away.
Like
As soon as the puke hits that, you've got to go get a bag, plastic bag, put it in a plastic bag, and throw it out the door.
Judd, listen, those covers were $1.29 at Kmart, okay?
Yeah.
Where are you going to find another one?
I had
Blue light special at Kmart.
a very well-intentioned friend who was like, here's the elaborate way you get, poop stains out of these white onesies when, your kid shoots, rooster tails it out the back. And I said, nope, I don't need to know. Like, these are $1. I'm sorry. I hate to be wasteful, but I am not putting time and energy. Done.
Yeah.
Like, done.
I just feel like going to puke now because it's funny.
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't eaten today, though, so there's nothing to hurl.
Got Diet Pepsi in your system.
That's true.
Just whoop.
God, they don't make that anymore. I can't find it anywhere anymore.
What was the term you used? Saying their lunch?
Yeah, saying their lunch.
I've never heard that prior.
You've heard singing their lunch? Really?
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's like very cute and very graphic and a lot of imagery.
There are a lot of those great sayings like that from the old days. I love that stuff. No question about it. Great memory, though. I'm going to have that memory the rest of the day today, and it makes me very, very happy. Having Don tell me about when he sang lunch on the toilet seat cover.
Well, and then in addition to the shag like toilet seat cover, have you ever had like the cushioned actual toilet like seat?
Yeah.
Don't love that.
That is the weirdest.
I hate that.
It's always cracked. It's always cracked and like peeled off in areas, and you go, "Don't love this."
Well, there's also like the edge of it too, like where the two seams meet. There's there's like a plastic like razor sharp. You sit down on that thing, you stand up, and you're like, "Why am I gushing blood out the back of my thighs?"
Don't love that.
No.
There was a kid in my neighborhood because of what you just said. That little seam must have been split or something, because he said every time until they had it fixed, when you sat on that toilet seat, it farted.
Yeah.
You sit down and go,
and you just want to yell out to everybody.
Whoopee cushion.
It was the seat.
Yeah, it's like a whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
It was the seat. It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Toilet seats are fine. Toilet seats as designed are absolutely fine.
Yeah,
It's
leave 'em
not
alone.
supposed to be an experience of great comfort.
No, Judd, I agree with you. No redesign needed here.
I agree. No, just leave it alone. Yeah, the cushiony ones, that was not a good idea.
No.
They still make those?
I bet.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't need
My
any-
mother-in-law had one before she passed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
They still make the fluffy. Well, I suppose for older people it'd be good.
Yeah.
The cushy ones.
And then I got the boosters for the older folks and all that stuff, but that's a whole different story. Speaking of shag carpets, Tom, do you recall the biggest thing was any like thumbtacks, because you couldn't see them, right?
Oh,
would
you
get in the
couldn't see
shag,
anything.
and
Yep.
so you'd be walking across
Yep.
the shag carpet, and you'd step right on a bleeping thumbtack.
How
many
there was more stuff buried in shag. Anything you dropped, you couldn't find.
Judd, what life
How
were
many
you living?
thumbtacks do you like use on a regular basis?
Yeah,
where this was a regular occurrence?
This is the 70s. I hung a lot of posters, okay?
I will
Sports
tell you.
posters.
Well, exactly what you're talking about with Hot Wheels.
Or Legos.
You step or a Lego.
there we
Oh
go.
my
Ow.
God,
Rest in
that hurts.
That'll end your life.
Man, that hurts.
What vacuum you using on these? Because we got new
Yeah,
carpet in the
yeah.
baby's room, and we got like plush carpets. We're like, good idea. And even that, my vacuum constantly gets stuck on it. So what vacuum you using on this shag carpet? What are you doing?
I don't know. What do you do? I don't. We don't have shag
Well,
carpet.
doesn't yours have like a little adjustment that you can bring
Oh,
the...
it didn't matter. It
Really?
doesn't matter. Like our
Really?
carpet
Huh.
it was like, it just is.
It was like, what?
I thought she was going to do a Richard Pryor impression of a vibrator, a dildo. Remember that, his impression of that? He said, man, how can you have sex? You go in there and you whip out these dildo-looking things and you use it and you turn it on, it goes zzz, and the second you use it, it goes zzz.
It actually sounds a little like this.
You're
Yeah, there it sounds just
spot
like
on.
that.
Do you guys remember
Perfect Missy Elliott.
there was that lady who always talked about sex, and she always had dildos, and the way she would show it working is she'd put it in water constantly. It was like an older lady who would always talk. It was like, I want to say
Dr. Ruth?
Yes, I was gonna say Ruth.
Dr. Ruth.
Yes, and she constantly was
God.
like had these like glasses of water just readily available for when it was time. It was like, oh, stop, Ruth.
Like, that's my water, Ruth. Thank you very much for it's ruining that.
Drink out of that.
Now let me have your coffee.
It's all to God, Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Was that Dr. Phil that brought her on, or was it Phil Donahue? Who was that?
No, she was, let's see, because Oprah brought in Dr. Phil onto the planet.
Right,
But
right.
I think Dr. Ruth had a radio show first.
I want to say
Okay.
it was like a regional. I mean, it was a national radio show.
And
Yeah.
Ruth was way before.
Way before, yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
80s, because she had a successful cable show that like a lot of people watched.
Yep.
And I want to say that was mid 80s, right, Rudy?
Yeah. Because I remember that was sort of like my weird way of like getting porn at like the age 11 or 12 before you
Sure.
watched the scrambled Playboy channel on the cable box. We had that where I'd watch that because it was at late at night, and then she would have like a plastic, vagina sitting out there, and she always had that weird accent. Remember that, Tom?
Yes,
She had the
I
weird
do
accent.
remember
She'd
the
be like,
accent.
then you insert into the vulva, and I was like, this is amazing.
That's exactly
Rudy's
what
just
she
huddled
did.
around his TV
Yeah.
with the volume on like 3
He's
so
taking
his parents
notes.
don't hear
They're
it.
like, why is he hanging out at VFW bingo halls all the time? I'm like, I'm into old ladies. Don't judge.
The old ladies, baby.
You guys, her origin stories are wild. She was born in Germany in 1928, forced to leave her home to escape the Holocaust, was in an orphanage in Switzerland when she was only 10 years old.
Wow.
And then at the age 17, she went to Israel to become a member of a paramilitary Jewish group fighting for the country's independence and training as a sniper.
What?
And she's about 4 feet tall.
Yeah. She said, I was a sniper in the underground in the Haganah in 1948. I've never killed anybody, though, but I was badly wounded in both legs. That's not why I'm short. I would have been short anyway.
Just to clarify.
That's a good line, actually.
Oh, my God.
You puts the crosshairs on the penis.
There you go.
She's lived a very interesting life.
She's still alive?
She's got to be dead.
She was gotta be.
She was old in
No
the
way.
80s, yeah.
This was written in 2016. I'll find out if Dr.
She
Ruth is
can't
still
still be.
alive.
She'd be about $110.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great run, regardless.
Could you imagine
Yeah,
her
it
in
is.
the old folks' home just still giving out all the advice? Now, Patty, when he reveals his... Oh, you gave a look.
She's still alive.
No way.
95 years
We
old.
gotta have her on the show.
95? Oh, we should.
Somebody try to get her on the show.
Katman, how are you doing? Yeah, I can hear it.
Man.
That'd be phenomenal. I cannot believe she's still alive.
Yeah, she's still alive.
Although she's a little person, and little people do live longer than big people.
I was just going to say
is a
that.
fact.
Yes, that's a great point.
She just had a birthday in June. Oh my God, I just want to know more about Dr. Ruth.
So she's on top of it because the other day she tweeted, this was just 7 days ago because Twitter went from Twitter to X.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She just tweeted out 7 days ago. So now all my tweets are X-rated, even when I don't mention sex.
Oh, you got to
Oh,
have her on
Ruth.
the show.
Oh,
Ruth.
Come on.
Who wrote that for her? Because she didn't come up with that.
Let me, let's see if we can make this happen.
God. I'm not going to be here on that Tuesday.
Why?
You don't want to talk to Dr. Ruth?
No,
Talk
I'm
to her
ready.
about being a sniper.
Right, you don't want to talk to the lady that could educate you on sex as well as teach you how to like operate a handgun, sniper, rifle,
Yeah, that'd be good.
military. Yeah, she sounds like a badass.
So, Dr. Ruth, I've been shoving pencils up my ass. Is that okay?
She'd say, whatever makes you happy. That's her thing.
Whatever makes
She's like,
you happy.
whatever works for you.
She sounds like the. Have you seen the How to Build a Sex Room show on Netflix?
Yes, yes.
She sounds like that. Oh, it's the craziest show you'll ever. If you think you're kinky at all, this will make you think you're not because the
vanilla.
things that people put in their houses is ridiculous.
As long as it's a number 2 pencil, Tom.
Gotta be number 2.
I feel like
Much lead.
her big
I
thing would
agree.
be making sure it's like a clean situation, right? Like that
Yeah,
would be her big thing is
yeah.
infection. You don't want to shove anything up there.
Right. She would
Not
teach you how to field dress anything if there was an emergency in the bedroom.
Also, make sure the eraser is very attached to the pencil.
Yeah.
But I have a question.
What's this sex room? I have not seen this. It's on Netflix documentary.
Yeah, it's like this British woman that specializes, so people will contact her, and she goes and transforms whatever room into like a sex room. And it's a lot of couples that are like, oh, we work a lot, we have kids, we don't get to be very intimate, and they'll be like, oh, my kink is dressing in leather and smacking you with a whip. And she'll be like, here's a room that I put all of these like penises
Really?
and vaginas everywhere that you can do all of your kinky stuff in. It's oddly like innocent, but it's also like extremely not innocent.
And like a lot of times just about good architecture and like double bolting down swings and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like,
really?
okay, it's good to know even for like normal things.
Right, bolt your sex swing into a stud,
Yep.
not just into the drywall,
Yep.
so you don't fall.
Things you should know.
Yeah.
You do realize this Christmas, for his present, I'm giving Tevin a... And I might even do the zipper mouth
pause
on the
scares
gimp
me.
on the gimp hood. What do you think?
Oh wait, is that like the all leather?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
would you have a panic attack in that?
Yes.
I would.
Like, what?
I would.
What movie
Brittany's
was
like
that?
considering it. She's like, yeah, okay, no, I probably couldn't do that one.
Oh, that would terrify me.
What movie was that? The guy who was wearing a gimp hood the whole movie.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Is that?
I don't know. It's one of
I
them.
don't know. I only watched 12 minutes of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey-o,
12
that's
minutes, that's
generous.
That's enough. There's no question about it. It's enough time involved.
There was cuddling involved, even.
Oh my God. We only got one more minute with Judd, unfortunately. So, any closing arguments?
No, but this discussion does bring back my favorite thing that ties in sports and porn, which is something you can't say much. Tom, do you remember the old Spectrum Sports when it started?
Of
And it
course.
was,
Yep.
and you had to get a descrambler, but it was on UHF channel 23, and they would show Twins and North Stars games. But after the game was done, there would be called Spectrum After Dark. And as a 10-year-old kid or so, the thrill was to try and decipher through the squiggly lines, because I didn't have the decoder box, the porn scenes. But like it would be like Twins lose 5-2 tonight to the Yankees. That's a wrap on this game, and the next thing would be like Spectrum After Dark coming up soon or coming up now, and then it just go transition right to porn.
You know what, though? That was like pre-TikTok algorithm, and they were hitting a great algorithm. Like, hey, guy, you just watched this. What about falling into some of this?
They knew what they were doing.
Hey, what about this? Hey?
You just gave me a great memory because when Spectrum came out, we were living on the farm out there in Dayton, and Spectrum called me and said, we want you to watch our network. And I said, well, I can't get it. They came out and put about a 15-foot tower on the roof of my house. That's how I picked
No
up
kidding.
Yeah. I got Spectrum because they put a huge tower on the top of my house. Well,
So you didn't have to watch it through the blurry lines.
No.
Lucky guy, you.
Yeah.
Neither did Andy or Alex.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Oh, remember that back in the day when computers first came out and you would watch the screens just go deep, 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 and you'd realize it was pornography after about 5-10 minutes.
The picture would slowly load and you're like seeing the neck,
That's
the
exactly
head.
what I'm saying.
You're like, give me nipples.
There you go.
And then the phone call would come in and knock you offline.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Get off the phone, Andrea.
It's a great idea around here. After the family podcast, we go Tom Barnard After Dark.
It's just Brittany making her dildo sounds.
Yeah, there you go.
And look, here goes in my other water bottle.
Oh, God.
You're fricka expert.
Oh, all right. I'll see you guys
All right.
tomorrow.
Bye, Judd.
Thanks a lot.
Bye,
Judd's all good. SKOR North, ladies and gentlemen. Just let me know when Michael's ready to go, and we'll do a little schmoozing about that too.
A listener wrote in saying Pulp Fiction was the one with the gimp suit.
It was Pulp Fiction. That's exactly right. The gimp hood with the zipper mouth.
Yes, that was from Thomas. Thank you, Thomas.
Oh, Thomas the twin.
Thomas, yeah. I was going to say his last name and then realized I probably shouldn't.
Ooh.
It might start with a W. I don't know. Sorry, Tom.
Thomas Winthrop. That's who it was.
Thomas, mind your business.
Thomas Wentworth. It was one of those. That's all I'm saying. I just want to read this one quickly before we get to Michael on the horn here. We were talking about this earlier, that people can't take a joke anymore, and I wanted to bring it up again. What do you think of that, Tevin? What are you, 31 now?
Yep. Yeah, nobody can take a joke. Whatever you're about to say, I 100% agree with it. Yeah.
Why is it that no one can take a joke anymore? What happened?
I don't know. Everybody's just so serious all the time, and nobody laughs at themselves. Like, if you go to a comedy club and you hear a joke about something, people will take it as if it's a personal attack on them. And it's like, guys, if you have to be able to laugh at yourself and just turn it off and enjoy life. Like, and I'm sure, Rudy, you see it all the time being a comedian where things have changed, where you get a lot more pushback, or nowadays with everybody thinking, because you'll see a lot of clips from comedy go viral because somebody's interacting with the comedian on stage and the comedian's trying to shut it down, and then it goes viral, and now people think, oh, I'm here to be a part of the show and be offended, and that's going to help you go viral.
That's the number one thing you hear when somebody gets kicked out is, I was just trying to help. Don't need your help, dude. Been doing this long enough. Know what I'm doing. Thanks. Yeah.
Stop helping me.
Mike's ready to go, by the way.
All right. Michael Bryant, how are you, Pally?
Good. I got to help a comedian now.
Yeah, you do.
We need help.
Let me think about
My
it.
feelings were hurt, Mike.
I know.
Well, you've done a lot of DUI work anyway, haven't you? Thank you very much. Great to be here. What's happening, Pally?
Well, I was calling in to see if you wanted to talk about that latest in videos, or if you wanted to talk about the new laws. So I don't know which call I was supposed to be making.
Well, you can do both. You know what we could do? We got about 4 minutes before the break, so the shorter one you can do now, and then after the break we can do the longer one.
Okay. Well, the changes in the laws, the biggest one that people are affected by or that are excited by, I guess, is the change in laws concerning marijuana.
Light them up, smoke them if you got them.
Yep, and the big thing for people to keep in mind is it's still federally illegal, which means that they could still be charged federally, even though it's legal here. And there's a number of things you have to keep in mind, that when you get your conceal and carry, you sign a form saying you won't be having in possession of pot. So you actually sign that form when you do it, so you'd be in violation of federal law. Can't drive to Iowa or neighboring states with it. Can't mail it to somebody. Can't actually bring feeds in from out of state, because those are all against the law. So there's just things that people just got to keep in mind. And if you're responsible and you keep those things in mind, you can keep your 2 pounds in your house and carry your 4 ounces and, grow your four plants in your house.
Yeah, I don't. And again, I know I've said this a million times, but I'll keep on saying it. Do not smoke weed. It's not good for you.
Yeah, that's the other thing is the whole health issue with the actual smoking. That's beyond the point. And there's still issues with driving. They don't have a test as far as driving goes. And that'll be interesting to see where that happens with driving. And then the other factor that's a big deal is that they added with the law that people's past records are going to be expunged. But the BCA didn't categorize cases by marijuana. They were just drug charges. And so it's going to take a long time for them to go back in the files and expunge old records.
Yeah, I suppose I will. Now, are they going to let people out of prison now that went to prison for? Some people did up to 20 years for dealing pot back in the day.
Most of the people in prison are going to be in there under federal law, so
that's
not
true.
going to.
Yeah.
That's not going to change.
Yeah.
And then when you're in a federal prison, that's still against the law there. So I don't think we'll see that many things. We're probably going to see petitions for parole. And the new law also made it easier to get paroled because the governor's panel no longer has to be unanimous. Doesn't need all 3 votes. You'll need 2 of the 3. So, you can convince 2 of them, they can let you out early.
I could see that. Well, why don't we take our break and we'll come back and address the other issue. What do you say?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, stream the Tom Barnard Show on the app or their website and listen for at least 1 hour a day to be entered to win a pair of tickets to Pink and Pat Benatar in concert. That's at Target Field, just a week from today? A week from tomorrow, as a matter of fact, next week from Thursday. Listen to our show on the stream for an hour each day and win. Tickets or compliments of Killebrew Old Fashioned Root Beer and Cream Soda. We'll be right back in a couple seconds more with Michael Bryant. This is Tom Barnard for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates nearest you. And that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned, as a matter of fact. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary Power Lodge, where your adventure begins. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you. Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Grab a six-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Barnard. This spring and summer, enjoy the one Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Gluten and caffeine-free with a generous portion of delicious thrown in. Killebrew, where memories are created and legends are made. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Special guest Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant with us. So a couple of big things happened. We addressed one of the issues. And what's the other big story today, Michael?
Well, the other big story is the shooting on 94,
Right.
and we saw the body cams, which was really fast. And there's a new law that came out that requires them to get the body cams out as quick as possible. And the family watched the body cams earlier. There's some issues on whether or not some of it was redacted, and there's been some calls for getting the unredacted version. A lot of people are talking and comparing this to what happened with Officer Porter. To me, when you watch it, I watched the body cams last night, and when you watch it, I mean, the big issue with Porter was that she had a gun in her hand and didn't know it. She thought she had something else in her hand.
A taser,
and
yeah.
she thought she had a taser, and she shot somebody with a gun in her hand. That was the issue. These state troopers clearly had guns in their hands, and they used them when the guy took off, and they both went flying out of the vehicle. You watch these, and it's I don't know. These whole exchanges that take place on the road with people not following instructions, but they have a fear because of other things that are happening. It's a sad thing. But the guy had a felony that he was under a warrant back in Ramsey County. So there's a lot of issues going on there at what I think it was like 2:30 in the morning. And it's an unfortunate thing, but I don't see it the same as Porter when you watch it.
So here's my question. It's 2:30 in the morning. You have to pull a guy. What was he doing, like 100 miles an hour or something?
Well, I think he had a taillight that was out. I don't know. I didn't see if there was a speeding issue, but there was taillights were out.
Taillights were out, and he was. I had heard he was. I don't know if he was, but I heard he was speeding. And a question I do have for people who have not been around guns your whole life: you do not know what that's like for a cop to walk up on a guy 2:30 in the morning. He's got no taillights. That should never have happened if he was speeding. Whatever the situation is. How do you know that a guy's not going to shoot you as you're walking up to the car?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
people
why
always discount that part of it.
Well, that's why they go on the ready when they go up to the car. That's why they go on both sides the way they did. And, there's a whole exchange about, do you have a warrant? And when you get a license in Minnesota, they have a right to stop you and pull you out of the car. They can't search your car without a warrant, but they can get you out of the car, and they had probable cause based upon the tail lights. That's why I think I've told Brittany many times, don't drive around with bad taillights, or they'll find what's in your car.
Yeah, you criminal.
Yeah, Brittany, if you want to stay safe out in these streets, make sure your taillights are
Thanks, guys, for this aggressive advice.
I have a question for you guys, and it's for everybody, including you, Michael. Have you ever had a gun pointed at you?
I have, and they are very big barrels when you look at them.
I have as well. You don't know what it's like until you've been through somebody pointing a gun at you who's been drinking particularly. It's terrifying. I'm just here to say your life could end in 1 second, and it's not very comfortable.
Yeah. And did the guy that was shot, did he have a gun? Was there a weapon on him?
I don't know if they found what's in the car yet. So I don't know that. I mean, there wasn't a brandish gun. You don't have the Castillo thing where he actually says, "I have a gun."
Right.
And so that there's a gun in the car. So which is a different issue in that case altogether. So there was different factors with this stop. I mean, he's by himself. He doesn't have a kid with him. And the whole exchange about the warrant just wasn't the law in Minnesota, and I don't know. It shouldn't have happened. I don't like seeing people getting killed on the roads, but there's a lot of extra factors there that aren't the same as in the other cases.
Yeah, and because when I saw the video, I was like, there's a couple of things. Like, well, one, if he has a warrant, but if he drives off, you can just get him another time. It's not like this is some murderer, he's highly dangerous to society. We can get him another time. And then the cop, didn't he shoot from the passenger side, in which the other officer was also on the driver's side. So it's that's not very smart. What if you miss that guy and hit your own officer?
Our bullets go through people.
Right.
That's how they approach cars, though. It's from the two sides. No, they don't know who's in the car and they don't know what's going on.
Right. Now, I get that. But for one officer to shoot across and in the direction of another officer seems not a very good standard practice.
Well, I think the shot was going forward as the guy's driving away.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think the officer's still there. Now, the other thing that you see is they actually ask for permission before they pursue. It wasn't an automatic pursuit. When they go back and you watch the video about a half a minute more, and you see them running when they're running back to the car, they're making the request, can we pursue? And they get the authority to pursue because of, the circumstances, the time of day, and where it's at. So they're not going through a city. They're going on 94. It's based upon that warrant back in Ramsey County, which is, as I understand it, a felony warrant. So, whether he's killed somebody or not, you don't know. So there are some extra factors here that they have been, required to do. It wasn't like they just suddenly jumped in and decided we're going to run. And apparently, from watching the video, I think he got shot and then he crashes, I think is what happened.
Yeah, he crashes the guardrail and they kind of pinned him up against it, yeah.
So I have a question for you on this one because it's happened before. If, like you said, just let the guy go, you can get him later. The only problem with that argument is it has happened before where that has gone on. The guy then hits another car and kills someone, and then the city gets sued for letting the guy go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge problem, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's no perfect answer to any of it, which makes it so much more difficult to figure out.
Well, it's why those jobs are the tough jobs they are. I mean, it's, those are not easy jobs to go up to somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning like that. But, there's a big difference between racing through a city downtown and being out on 94. Now, I don't think there's an optimal place to have a pursuit, maybe the Sahara Desert or something. But,
exactly.
That's why they're requiring with they have looked at things like no-knock warrants, and they have looked at pursuit, and they have looked at body cams. They required them to have body cams. So they are doing things to try to make this better overall so that we, have a system that works for as many people as possible.
That's what we got to do. I just wish people wouldn't be so all-knowing and so judgmental because you have no idea what the hell you're talking about, most people.
No.
They just don't. Well, they don't. They have no
true.
That's
clear
view
true.
of it. So I don't know what the hell to do, but
I think the next person who comes and asks me for advice will say, I don't know.
What are you asking me for? Leave me alone.
Right, we're going to find out together.
We're going to find out together.
We'll find out together. That's a good way of going about it. All right, Michael, what else you got, Pally?
I just get my phone operating again, so got to get back to the guy at the Verizon here in Plymouth to get this finished up.
Right. I texted Michael Bryant, and I got a new number. Who dis?
No, it's the same. It's the same number. I just didn't have my contacts on the little, crack phone.
It's just your number. He just doesn't
said
save
new
your
phone.
number.
Who dis?
Right.
Who dis be? And I said, hi, it's me, Brittany.
I got to go home.
Who dis be?
All right, Michael, thank you, sir.
Thanks. Bye.
That is going to do it for the show today. We will talk to you again tomorrow.